All right, welcome to Adventure Right Now, day 3, as we embark on the journey of writing the next part of the story, the God's favorite cat toy, a Hermes the cat tale. Welcome to Adventure Right Now, where you have the chance to build a story with the community. I am Kaufman, and this is
Chat Soul.
and we are having quite a lot of fun. Now, for those of you who are just hopping in, this is the third day, the third event of our Adventure Right Now series, where we're working on developing a story together as a community. So make sure that if you want to learn more about how you can be involved, the link for the Adventure Right Now activity, the Google Docs link is down in the YouTube description. I was like, all right, clearly I need to update. Want to review the guidelines. Perfect. I'm just adding it to the top of it so it's easier to find. Hopefully it will let me do that. Maybe. No. All right. So all right, so let's hop into actually before we hop into the story so far, let's welcome everybody to the stream. I see we have a very exciting conversation going on around coffee. Bobby, glad to have you in here. Welcome, welcome. You're the first one into the stream, making it awesome. Courtney, ML, welcome, welcome, welcome. And let's see. Mast, glad to have you in here. I saw you were starting on Ginger Cat. We'll be hopping into Ginger Cat in just a little bit, let me tell you. And then let's see, we're all on the coffee train. I was like, I got soda. That's where I'm at today. So we'll see. I already went through my
Water.
caffeine this morning. That's healthy. So you're the healthy one of the bunch here.
That feels so weird.
Awesome. So, and for all you guys that know, so just a couple of call outs. So today, originally, we had a special guest with us who was going to join us for the stream. Unfortunately, they canceled at the last minute. So they will not be joining us, which means that we are going to be adjusting the way we're doing today's stream to focus on making progress and getting writing done with the stream. So in terms of the format that we're going to be following, we're going to be breaking down our story in a couple different elements. We're first going to go through the story so far. So we're going to review, for those of you who are unaware, what's happened in Act 1 of the story. Then we're going to go over how you can be involved. We're going to review a couple major story decisions that we need to agree and vote on as a community. And then we're going to hop into writing the manuscript. So we got a lot to do and we have a lot of story to write. So make sure to stay tuned because we got some crazy scenes planned. Let me tell you, we have had way too much fun writing this story.
Oh, yeah.
So for those of you just hopping in, the story so far with Hermes the cat. So I'm gonna pull up the pictures. Do you want to review what we have in Act 1? Just like a brief summary.
All right. So for Act 1, that's obviously the beginning of the story. The first life that we saw was the Egyptian cat, and she needed Hermes' help getting the golden scarab. She did not tell him why at first. And so he ends up sneaking into the Temple of Ptah to try to get it. The game works essentially the same way the manuscript did, although there's some scenes that were a little extra, and there are moments that don't exist in the manuscript, but it's all the same. So he has to go get the golden scarab. He ends up almost getting it, and that is when the Viking pirate cat swoops in, like almost literally, and snatches a scarab and goes through this portal, and Hermes just ends up chasing after him and ends up on a Viking longship. I had a lot of fun doing research for that. That was really neat. But we've been finishing that up today. And Hermes ends up in one of two things to get the scarab back, either a drinking contest or a fight, which was a lot of fun to write. And it also the fight actually ends up with our first dead end as well. So it was nice to actually incorporate not just a turnaround or a go through, but an actual dead path. And that dead path in the game actually gets to take you to a secret scene. But I will reveal that probably next week, maybe, or some other time.
All right, awesome. And then I pulled up. So those are some of the images that we have so far. I'm actually just going into chat GBT. So I'm actually kind of curious for us to get some images, some starting images for some of our cats. So far, obviously, we have a rough idea for Hermes, and we're actually going to hop into some story planning. So we're going to make a couple of decisions as a community for how we want Act 2 to go. But I kind of want to get a visualization for our Egyptian cat and our Viking pirate cat. So starting off, let's get we need an image. So how would we describe the actually let me see. Do you know what page our description is for our Egyptian cat? That's at the end of chapter 1, right? When she's introduced.
Yes.
Let's see. A new visitor approaches. I'm seeing if I can get a visualization. Let's see. A beautiful silver cat with black spots and stripes stepped onto the floor. All right. We need an image for the following character description. Oh, it didn't come up. Perfect. We need an image for the following character description. Perfect. So let's see if ChatGPT gives us anything. So I think what I would love to have is I would like to generate at least an image for each cat if we don't have anything from the community so far, just as kind of like a placeholder. Because I think that helps us. And then at the end, I can Photoshop, I can edit the stuff and put the characters together. Because I think like this one, I love this as an opening, but I'm like, let's have this be each of the cats. So were you ever a fan of the Mega Man games? Did you ever play Mega Man series? For anybody who ever played like the series, it's always like the main character and then all the different like villains, obviously are different cats. But I think we could totally do that with obviously Hermes and then getting each of our different like styled of cats. And I think that would be very cool. I think that's what would probably be for like our rough working title actually. Okay. So, well, that is generating. Okay. So I feel like we're in a good place for the story so far, Soul. Let's see what we got here. Awesome. Bobby, we'll get to the yarn idea when we get to that chapter. We'll definitely hop over there in just a little bit, my friend. All right. So we're going to
real quick. That was the point. She was meant to be an Egyptian Mao. I did that on purpose.
Yeah, love it. Love it. Awesome. So this is what we got so far for Egyptian cat. I was like, it's
the second one is a lot closer.
Right. We like the second one more. Let's make it a little more. What would we say? I mean, the genre is so let's make it let's make it a I'm trying to think of the right wording for it. Let's make it
because she kind of stands up like kind of like a human sometimes.
Make it anthropomorphic in a style for our world, which is a supernatural based world. Let's see what it gives us. So we'll try to do that. We want to try to get a certain style. Okay, so we'll come back to that. Now, let's see. Okay, so for those of you who want to be involved, and let's say that you haven't been involved yet to this point, but you're like, hey, I want to join. I want to be able to help out with the story. We actually have 5 ways that you can be involved. Let's see, and I will throw it up here. So once again, if you want to be involved with the story, there's actually a couple ways that you can come join us. You can get an inspired by credit if you just want to throw out ideas here on the live stream with us. You can get a co-author credit if you want to hop here into the Google Docs and write a part of the story. You'll get a creator credit if you develop a specific story element, like let's say a character, a plot point, or a world building element that we end up using in the final manuscript that is 50% or more in the final manuscript. So the creator credit should actually be pretty easy. Let's say you like create a character and we run with it. Like the creator credit will be pretty easy. Yeah, exactly. Like Ginger Cat. My guess is we'll probably end up giving a couple creator credits for Ginger Cat. But this means that you would then get a co-author credit and a creator credit. I think inspired by or co-author, it would be either an inspired by or a co-author. When I think about credits, but then you could bundle up a co-author credit and a creator credit. Now you could also get an artist credit if, let's say, you want to create concept artwork for the story itself. Awesome. So yeah, if you want to come up with any concept art, we would love your ideas. We would love for you to draw any animation styles of any of our cats. So if you get inspired, you can actually hop into the character. You can hop into the Google Doc, link down in the YouTube description. And so far we just had we had one which was just like a joke spoof one, but we would definitely encourage you guys to add some more. If you got some cool character art concept, we would love to see them. I'll start throwing them down here once we get it. And then anybody who wants to do some editing, we'll do you'll get an editing credit. All right, perfect. So here's the different ways that you can be involved. Let's see, let me think. I feel like I wanted to throw something else up here, but I don't remember. Okay, so let's see what we got for ChatGPT. Okay, we're going a little bit more.
The second one is closer.
Mm-hmm. This one, the tail feels a little disproportionate.
I mean, it definitely feels like definitely a furry.
I know, ain't that the truth? All right, so let's say second one is closer for the character design.
As for the tail being disproportionate, well, that's also kind of like relative.
Try again with a different style. I think if I try to do the tail proportion, I think it'll give us something peculiar. Try again with a different style and give her a thinner tail. Because I don't think her tail is very bushy, is it? I don't remember.
Egyptian mouths are really short-haired.
Okay, and give her a thinner tail. Try again with a different style. All right. Because if you don't like it, you can just keep having it try different styles, and sometimes you'll land on something that'll work. Awesome. So let's see. We have inspired by, co-author, creator, artist credit. So we have these different ways for people to be involved in the story. Now, let's say that you want to write the story itself. You can actually just hop into the manuscript, and we've actually made it very, very easy for you. So let's say you want to write a piece of the story. I would recommend that you review the character notes, the world building, or the plot. And then you could hop into the manuscript. You see, we've had a drop down. You could find the chapter that you want to write in. So let's say you're like, hey, I really want to write Ginger Cat. Look at that. Then you could hop to Ginger Cat and you're like, okay, somebody's writing it already. Let me hop to what else could be fun. Okay, let's see. I want to write a choose your own adventure element. Or maybe I want to write the midpoint of the chapter. I want to write a different portion. So you could actually hop to the part of it that sounds like it would be fun for you based on our story notes and our decisions as a community. This way we could have multiple writers working on different parts of the story as we've agreed upon in the plot. Okay, perfect. So I like that. And let me real fast, I'm going to hop over to YouTube. So I need to fix something real quick. Is there anything you think we should add for their knowledge, for their awareness? They want to be involved.
I think you got everything.
All right. Awesome.
Although I will say the reason why I've been looking down is I've been trying to get some ideas for one of the chapters that we're writing. Chapter 4, the kindness kitten, and I've actually been developing her storyline while Jared's been talking. And I got a really good idea that it works a little too perfectly because I play a game that kind of models this.
I love it. Absolutely love it. I'm literally just adjusting the description. Want to I'm just adjusting the description so it's easier. Want to be involved, follow this. Want to be involved, follow.
I'm gonna say
okay.
this by the time, so probably by the end of the month, depending on how quickly I can type, which obviously I can type fast according to everyone. I
Wait, you
should
can
be
type
I should
fast?
be finished with the game by the end of the month. At least the manuscript will be finished, but the game, either it's going to be published at the end of the month or it's going to be published before the middle of December, depending on how quickly I can get it written, get every choice made, get some bugs fixed, because there actually have been a couple, but that was more because I actually hit the wrong button. um, but I'm going to post it on itch.io for everyone, and I'm really going to go all out with it, and I really cannot wait for people to actually play it and see the differences between the manuscript and the game.
Okay. Excellent. I am so stoked about that. And so I know you're asking me a great question about our nicknames. So let's hop into our ideas. We actually need your guys' help with a couple ideas right now, because we need to come up with a nickname for each of our characters. So what we'll do is we'll do some ideation right now with nicknames. We have 8 cats who need nicknames, of which I think there's 2 that I feel pretty good about so far. But we need nicknames for each of our cats. And then we'll review our mastermind. We need an evil mastermind for the story. So we'll review that plot point after. So let's go chapter by chapter, make sure that we're clear on where we're at. So with chapter 2, we have our Egyptian cat. Now in the manuscript, our Egyptian cat has already been written. Let me hop over to that part of the story. So we already have our Egyptian cat for chapter 2. What should we name our Egyptian cat? Let's see, and I think I can do this as a poll. What nickname should we have for Egyptian cat? Bueller. All right, let's see. So I just threw that. Okay, so starting first off. So what let's see. So let me think. I think in the manuscript so far, I've been using things like silver hair, silver-haired cat, headdress. Let's see. Let me check here. Let me hop back into the comments. Mass Toaster is like, all I care about is a creator credit for Ginger Cat. Yeah, I know. You've been having so much fun with it. I was like, I love seeing what you've been doing with Ginger Cat, by the way. Hey, what's up, Nell? Glad to have you in the stream. Were any science-minded string theory cats? Ooh, that's actually a good.
I
Do we have any?
developed any like that, have we?
I mean, it would probably be one. Maybe we could make vegan cat more science-minded.
Yeah, we haven't really developed a vegan cat.
Yeah, we haven't. So vegan cat won't show up till act 3, but I'm like, that might actually prove to be a really, we could make vegan cat like kind of like a mad scientist type vibe. Because vegan cat is very jealous that Hermes is basically like where he's at now. Like Hermes just has everything. Vegan cat basically has nothing. So we could actually play into vegan cat being like this kind of like almost like a genius type character, but they're almost like on like maybe like they're too smart for their own good type thing. We could totally play into that.
You know, also with vegan cat not living all that long because of their stupid owners, they could also be jealous too.
They could be trying to come up with a way to live longer. That could be why they're involved. They're trying to figure out how to extend their life.
This kind of delves outside the scientist thing, but it still kind of goes with it. But it kind of delves into the supernatural. They could be an alchemist. Because what was one thing alchemists were known for? The Philosopher's Stone.
I totally love that. We're not going to spend too much time on vegan cat today, but I say we'll put that in as a holder for next week, because vegan cat's going to show up in act 3 along with our return of tuxedo cat and our mastermind arc. So Mary, that's a great idea. We're definitely going to throw that. So would you mind throwing that in the doc, just under one of like the character notes? Because I don't want to forget that, because that's a great idea. And we'll just put that as a note for vegan cat.
I'm getting it now.
Masto's like, I don't care about any other element. I just love Ginger Cat. We love that, Mastoster. Absolutely love that. Kyle, I'm behind on Hermes, but I can't wait to play / read what community creates. Yeah, so far the manuscript is about 130, 140 pages. The manuscript, so obviously the font of everything is about twice as big because I have just made it bigger for it so it's easier for everyone to read. So, but I think we're at about 12,000 words right now.
With the manuscript. If you include
and
the
this is just the
game,
manuscript. This is not the game.
yeah, no, if we're, I think we're actually going to hit the 50,000 with the game when it's actually done, because I'm not even finished writing chapter 3. And give me a second here.
Mm-hmm.
It's already 12,000 words.
You know, Mass Toaster threw up an interesting point there. Like, instead of being vegan, make him a mad scientist instead. We could do that. I mean, I think we had I don't think we've actually done anything really specific with that cat. So, like, I mean, I'd be open if that, because that could play into his style. That could play into his character a little bit more. I'd be open to that.
But no, I have that up for the vegan cat, by the way, now.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so let's see. Nickname for Egyptian cat. So we got to get, what is it? We need 8 cats. Let's see. So if you, and actually what I can do is I can throw up nicknames. I think I threw in the Discord. I threw a thing for each of them. So I'll actually do this instead. We'll streamline this process. Let's see. Let me see if I can do this. I'm going to see if it will let me, how big it will let me do my Q&A. Okay. We need, do you have any nicknames for our cats?
That's not a bad idea, considering
What did they say? I'm not looking
Viper.
at it yet. What was that?
So Mass Toaster has an idea of Viper. It's actually not that bad of an idea, because cobras, were kind of a thing, in Egypt. So,
oh, having Egyptian cat, her nickname be Viper.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad idea.
The Egyptian Viper.
I actually kind of like that.
I kind of like that too. I'm
Especially
like the Egyptian Viper. Yeah.
Well, vipers, with snakes in general, what are they known for? When they strike fast.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know their intention until like the last moment. Same thing with the Egyptian cat.
Perfect. And I just threw this up. No, my prompt is too long. Let's see. Let me through that. Nicknames. Text. Oh man, it doesn't let me put. All right, where I'm gonna make this shorter. I can do it. So I like that. Let's go with Egyptian Viper. I think that's a really good idea. Let's go the Egyptian Viper. Can you just make a note of that in the character section? I think that's a great idea, unless there's any other ideas out there.
Yeah, give me 1 second. I gotta get back to it.
Okay. Nicknames. All right. So I can't put let's just put Nick names. All right. So this is, it only lets me do this. So I'll put this as the Q&A. This is like the most words it would let me do in the YouTube Q&A. Okay. So name. I just put name and then the 8 different cats. So we need nicknames for the 8 different cats. Egyptian Viper for the Viper cat would be great. I think that's really, really awesome. Perfect. And let me throw this back up. So we'll have here. So do you think we should give the chapters specific title names, or you think maybe we should just name them the cat arc name for now?
I think at least for now we just name them after the cats.
Yeah, and then I say maybe we can go back and retitle them just for ease. So this way we'll make it super easy. So we'll put the Egyptian Viper. Perfect. And that just makes it super easy. Chapter 2. Do we need that? Chapter 2, the Egyptian Viper. Perfect. So that makes it easy. Okay. So let's hop into cat number 3, which I think we've already agreed. I think parrot for That cat is hilarious.
Yes.
So our Viking pirate cat is going to be named Parrot, and we've played well into that, so I think Parrot is perfect. Like for those of you, like I think that's literally perfect for our pirate cat. Okay, let's see what we got. Okay, so this was for our Egyptian
He does
cat.
not.
Does Egyptian cat have a hood? Let's see. So what do you think? Where
Both of those are really good, but I think the first one fits a little better. I mean,
you think with the hair it fits better than the second one?
yeah, less ornamentation.
Mm-hmm. Do you think? Did you envision that cat with hair? Hmm.
I did not envision her with hair.
Yeah, I was like,
I honestly think I think she's fine either way, hair or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's almost kind of like I saw this style with this head almost.
I really do like that. I mean, the hair honestly looks fine. I think that, but that first picture I think really does fit her.
You think this one does? All right,
Because
we'll just
that
play into this for
imagery,
now. We can come up with new variations later, but so we don't spend too much time in this. I'm just gonna save this.
yeah,
Perfect.
honestly, I will say that first picture actually makes me think of the queen in the Prince of Egypt with the kind of like a drapery off her.
Mm-hmm.
So she was a palace cat, so it makes sense.
Actually, yeah, I completely agree with that. I do agree with that. I'm going to put our cat pics. Okay. So we're going to, I threw this one up. I'm just going to save this now. Okay. So then on to our parrot cat. Let's see. Sol, can you find me the description for parrot? Do you remember where you described parrot?
Probably at the end of chapter. Yeah, it's at the end of chapter 2.
Let's see. We need an image for the following character, and now we can just do this. And now we'll get our let's get a image going for parrot. And once again, if you're here in the stream with us, if you're an artist and you can draw characters, you're more than welcome to draw a better variation of any of our 8 cats. We're using the chat GBT versions as placeholders for any of our artists until any of our artists come up with anything. You guys don't want me to draw a cat, trust me. It'll look like a hippopotamus for all I know, or it'll probably look like a dragon. It'll just be a sticker of a dragon, and I'll be like, yeah, that's a cat, and each one will just be the same dragon.
If I get the chance, I can draw the cats, but I'm more focused on the writing. So
yeah, because we need to get through the manuscript and the and you have to get through the game as well.
Yeah.
So
if I get the chance, though, I'll draw them and I'll put them up in the art channel because I actually did post an image of a cat I drew, and she wasn't half bad.
All right, let's see, and then.
But the next cat that's coming up, though, since I'm going to be writing it, is the Irish cats.
Perfect.
And I have no idea.
So
we're
gonna need the name for that. Let me just throw in the description for parrot. But let's get a nickname for kindness cat. So if you want to describe kindness cat or what we have so far, then maybe we can hop into the story decision and the kind of we can decide what plot we want to go with that chapter as well.
Well, I was actually thinking with Kindness Kitten, first of all, her time period is Ireland in the 1200s, and she is actually she's actually the pet of a noble. So what drives her to grief isn't just the fact that she loses her human, she's also cast out to live with the peasants on the streets. So she didn't just lose her people, she lost everything. Basically, she lived in a castle. She had everything given to her. She spent all her time with her kid. And then just kind of lost everything due to something that, I don't know, just something that could be completely avoidable, in like modern times. But back then could not have been like some kind of sickness, let's say. I need my hand, baby.
All right. Perfect. I'm generating our image for a parrot. Yes,
I
Lucky.
like that.
Ooh, I kind of like that actually. Lucky's kind of a good name. Bobby's like, "Hello, kitty." I feel like we could actually like anytime if you guys want to do cat references, we could totally play into that, right? Same with Puss in Boots, Hello Kitty. We could totally have Hermes like. So since you're writing this, I feel like you should have Hermes saying like "Hello Kitty," but do it like a mocking type of thing. We could play into that.
Oh, he's
And
totally
then
gonna
and
do that
then
with the
and
kindness
then
kitten.
kindness cat getting like pissed off that they're like kindness cat is just gonna get pissed off.
Yeah, she's gonna find that derogatory. Also,
Yep.
I am not thinking Celtic. This is not Celtic.
What was the time frame is Irish, right? For
The
our
time
kindness cat?
frame is Ireland in like the
Mhm.
mid to late 1200s. This is
Mhm.
when there were this is when there were this is when there was like the feudal system. So
Mhm.
there were nobles, there were lords, and they would give peasants, you know, like land and stuff.
Mhm.
And there was like tiers of like nobility and stuff like that.
Mhm. And I can pull up so where we're at in the plot, we're also going to need let's figure out how we want to go about the plot. So with chapter 4, with where Hermes is at, Hermes was saved by the flying corgi in the past at the end of the last chapter. So now Hermes is with their flying corgi character as they're going through the chapter 4 arc. Since chapter 4 is beginning of act 2, all fun and games. Everything we do gets to be fun and doesn't necessarily have to be too related to the core story. We could definitely throw in elements. Yeah. Let's see. So kindness cat. I do kind of like Lucky though. Kindness Lucky. I say we run with Lucky. I think Lucky's very simple.
Yeah, it
Um
is, and it
we
really fits
we
because that is the exact opposite of what she's had.
yeah, exactly. There's that irony behind it, which I love.
Plus, not only that, but she has a bow around her. My God, the fabric for something like that in the 1200s, I can't imagine what they would have paid for that. With that, what the equivalent would be in this time age, in this time period.
Let's see. And so ML definitely like Lucky. Let's run with that. And I feel like there's so many opportunities for Hermes to be like, yeah, you're a real lucky potato, aren't you? Or like he could do so many like lucky references. I think that's we can play into that. So manuscript chapter 4 is uh lucky.
I have that word there. I do not know if I'm actually going to use it, but since he is floating on a piece of wood, I probably will start with that.
Yeah, so where I'm gonna end chapter 3 off is basically, I mean, technically I don't even know if I was gonna introduce the setup for the flying corgi. I think I was just going to have Hermes on the piece of wood
I
as
thought
he
that's what we
sees
were going to
something.
have all along, so I was just going to introduce the flying corgi at the beginning of chapter 4,
Yeah,
and then
that's what I
have
was
something
thinking.
like the corgi's like trying to take Hermes home, you know, trying to be nice.
Mm-hmm.
But then Hermes is like, wait a minute. I feel like there's somebody calling me. Can we like stop down here? And it turns out to be Kindness Kitten, who's like asking for
Yeah.
help or something.
Yep, love that. Okay, so chapter 4, Hermes ends up on a piece of driftwood. He spots a flying thing in the distance. That's where I will end off chapter 3. Chapter 4, Hermes is saved by the flying corgi. Now we have to think like, all right, so how does the flying corgi tie into the cats? And I think that because corgi is kind of like an unrelated character, this is kind of something we have to think through.
And I
How do
will
you
say,
guys?
I actually did give the corgi a nickname. The corgi's
Mhm.
nickname is Valkyrie
Oh yeah, I
because
absolutely
they
love
are a flying corgi.
I absolutely love that. Valkyrie, if I can spell Valkyrie correctly. It's probably not right.
It's
Uh
YR. It's YR.
Valkyrie. Valkyrie. VALK. I knew that was wrong. YRA. Valkyrie. Okay. So we have that. So we're gonna have to figure out how should our corgi be involved with our cats? And I think that's what we have to decide right now. So let's figure out this chapter 4 arc. And then let's see what ChatGPT gave us for our parrot cat.
The heck? It's like so
He's like a bull.
can't tell if that's a human, a cat, or a ram.
Oh my god. We need it for his fur was thick, fluffy, his helmet. Oh, I didn't say he was a cat, so I guess that's actually why. I
That
just
makes
copied it.
sense.
Okay. So try again. All right. So all right. Try again with the following new description. All right. So clearly that was my bad. I didn't put that he was a cat.
Hey, we got a
He
good laugh
is
out of it. It was worth it.
he is a Viking pirate cat. There we a Viking. A Viking. He'd be on a bike. He is a Viking pirate cat. Okay. His fleur occurred through his belt. He loves drinking spiced milk. That's the addition I gave to it, that it's all spiced milk.
That would
I
make
was like,
sense.
that's the thing, that's one of the reasons Hermes doesn't fare so well. Okay, so we'll see. Hopefully, we'll see it generate something a little better. So we'll try something. Let's see what that generates. Okay, so chapter 4. So our Hermes is saved by Valkyrie. So the kindness cat arc. How do you think we should have our flying corgi involved with and just involved with the cats?
So I think first, the reason that we have a flying corgi is,
Mhm.
well, the flying corgi technically appears during the time period of the Viking cat. So what was common back then in like with the Norse,
Mhm.
Valkyries would, they would take, souls up to Valhalla. So the corgi is basically the Valkyrie for animals, which is why he's picking up
I
Hermes.
actually kind of like that. So then the question is the character actually even a dog, or is that's just the form that they take?
That could just be the form.
Right. And I think we leave that a mystery. I don't think we actually have to play into that. Which is interesting because in the since technically this is a prequel story, in the Hermes, the cat lost in purgatory, he has a sidekick. And his sidekick is some type of ridiculous animal. I forgot what it was. Oh, it's a mouse. It's a flying mouse. His sidekick in the purgatory story, which is technically takes place after this story, is a flying mouse. And we never actually define what the mouse is. So clearly this is a running theme.
Yeah, that actually could be the
Mhm.
corgi. The
Mhm.
corgi could actually just take the form of whatever is necessary at the
Mhm.
time,
Mhm.
and just
I kind
happens to be a corgi when they meet. So
Yep, I love that. So let's have our Hermes say by the flying corgi Valkyrie. Um, let's see. Valkyrie is on a mission from, do we say from the heavens or from, we'll just say from
I'd say the
a
afterlife.
yeah, well, on a mission from afterlife to help Hermes. And we could actually tie her Valkyrie into probably our mastermind somehow. We can probably tie that into the mastermind plot line. But for now, that's all that's important. And then Valkyrie, why? Let's see. So why would Valkyrie? So Valkyrie wants Hermes to.
Valkyrie could be a betrayer to the
Yeah,
antagonist.
I think so as well. I think Valkyrie is a betrayer.
That Valkyrie, she knows what they're wanting to do with Hermes. So that's why she appears now. Is
Mm-hmm.
she wants to prevent that from happening.
Mm-hmm. I like that. So Valkyrie is a betrayer.
But
And
she's also
then
too kind for her own good. So when Hermes asks her to stop so he can help another cat, she
mhm.
doesn't know how to say no.
Yep, and too good for their own nature. Love that. Let's see. So our main bad guy, so Tuxedo and all the cats basically want to gang up on Hermes. And basically, I think it's essentially kill Hermes and take over Hermes' life. I think that's at the heart of it. Each of them have different motivations, but at heart, they basically want to put an end to Hermes.
Yeah, I just
Um,
had an idea for something to go with the end of the story. What if they
mhm,
can't? What if they're told that
mhm.
and they all believe it, but they can't actually do that?
Exactly. Right. And I think, yeah, we'll play that into the mastermind. I agree with that. Which then, if that's the case, right, all of them are out to get Hermes, right? We have to think about it. Our Egyptian Viper wanted to get the
Golden Scarab.
yeah, they wanted to get the scarab to essentially suck out Hermes' life, right? The parrot cat wanted to basically send
Just kill him.
Hermes, have him walk the plank, but he's a pirate, so he wanted to have fun and do it like pirates. So then Flying Corgi is why doesn't Flying Corgi just take Hermes back to his home then, right? Even though he's a betrayer.
I just had an idea which
He's
I've been
like, you
kind of
have to
playing
beat
with.
you have to beat them. So about Valkyrie's like, you have to beat them. No, I can't take you home. You have to.
No,
I think
I think what Valkyrie needs to be doing is she's breaking the rules.
mm-hmm.
She's breaking the rules by trying to take him home. So like they're like flying through like this like thick fog, this cloud bank, whatever this indescriptive area, and Hermes hears like this voice, Lucky, who's asking for help.
Dude, we could totally have Lucky as just like, because they're too good for their own nature, they get distracted easily. Like Valkyrie's like, yeah, I'll take you home. And then they hear Kindness Kitten call out like some type of thing, like some type of ruse. And Valkyrie's like, oh, we have to go save this cat. And then kind of is just like go chase after like a squirrel and disappears. We could totally do that. Like Kindness Kitten is like, yeah, I'll take you home. But they get distracted very, very easily. We could play into that.
Oh my God,
I think that could work. What do you think about that?
I like that idea.
Because I think Valkyrie should technically want to help Hermes then get back to his real life, because that's what Hermes wants. Hermes wants to go home and say, screw the world. Well, I want to go back to sleep and drink my milk martinis on my dream beach. So I think that could work.
I just had an idea for Kindness Kitten and Valkyrie. Kindness Kitten could actually trick her into leaving by throwing a ball or something.
That's actually really. We could have them play with the yarn. We could have them throw a thing of yarn. I think that.
Oh my God.
Valkyrie is a betrayer and too good for their own good. Valkyrie tries. Let me make sure I spell. Valkyrie tries to take Hermes home, but gets lured into Kindness into Lucky's. So wait, yeah, into Lucky's world. Perfect. Lucky, we'll just put Lucky Cat. I'm gonna put chapter 4 is Lucky Cat. Okay, so now we got to figure out the Lucky Cat arc. Let's take a pause for a second. We have a couple of really good questions in here. Let me hop back into the comments. Let's see, Mary, I saw that you threw out a name for Egyptian cat, but I think the only thing with nausea is I think that makes it come across as too much of a name. And I'd say let's like keep them more at like nickname variants, because technically at the core, all the characters are Hermes. They're all the cats are Hermes. And it's like you could play around like, sure, they're a different name in each life, but I think it plays more into the mythos that they're all ghosts of Hermes by not giving them a specific first name. Let's see, Kindness Cat. Let's see right now. Can we nickname my cat Speedy? We could totally actually nickname one of them Speedy. That actually would work for a cat name. I've
actually met a cat named Speedy.
What was that?
I've actually met a cat named Speedy before. She was like the fattest cat ever.
let me ask this: would the vegan cat work as Speedy?
I don't see why it wouldn't.
I almost think that vegan cat could work as Speedy, and then maybe part of vegan cat's story arc is that they're trapping Hermes in different like experiments, and Hermes is like has to like go through like some type of dream dynamic, and then we could play around with different styles.
I'm getting some ideas for that, but I'll tell you later.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so Bobby, I think that would be really good. I say that we put we have Speedy, so actually it'll be chapter 8. I think the vegan cat arc, I think we go with Speedy for this cat. And we'll put like a mad scientist. And we'll go this instead of a vegan cat. I think this could work well. So I think this will be for chapter 8, which is technically act 3. But I think that's where it would probably work best. Let's see. All right, let's see. And also, what do we got? What cat am I working on? Yeah, so I think we're agreed. I think you'll be working on vegan cat, which is going to technically be chapter 8. So we're technically not really doing chapter 8 today, but as I'm like kind of thinking about it, I really do think that's going to work best for vegan cat. So I think that would be the way to go. Awesome. Mass Toaster, are the ghosts working for the big baddie? I'm a bit confused. So this is a great question, Mouse. So do you want to explain it or should I?
Pretty much. The antagonist. God, if I can speak today, the antagonist has basically made some kind of deal with. God, what do we decide on? I think like in the 8th life they made a deal with him or something, or
Yeah, so our antagonist, who is our tuxedo cat, made a deal with our evil mastermind, who is a god. We still have to figure out who our mastermind is, but we'll do that after the cats. Our antagonist, tuxedo, made a deal, basically to kill Hermes, sap his life, and it's basically in some type of exchange. Basically, it probably like he'll like get to resurrect or something like that, or maybe he'll get to live longer. Tuxedo, then
the god could actually be offering him immortality.
Oh yes, yeah, I think that's perfect. So I think our mastermind god offered Tuxedo immortality. If Tuxedo wrangled all 8 cats or wrangled all 7 other cats to go and kill Hermes, essentially. And each of the cats have their own motivation. So the 8 cats, Tuxedo, and all of our other cats are working together. They're kind of like different personalities to end Hermes, and each of them have different motivations. They're technically working for a true mastermind, of which I don't think any of the cats outside of Tuxedo know that there's a mastermind.
Mm-hmm.
Tuxedo is the only one who knows that he's made a deal with the god, because Tuxedo doesn't want them to have immortality. Tuxedo's the only one who wants immortality for himself. He thinks all of them are
Actually, no, I got
wizards.
something better for that.
Oh, what do you think?
Tuxedo doesn't tell them because he's afraid that if they learn that's what the god is offering, that they might think that they might try harder to get the immortality for themselves.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. I think yes. That
so it's not out of greed per se, it's more out of fear, which can be like the worst and strongest motivator out there.
Completely agreed. So yes, so Mass Toaster, I hope that explains it. I hope that gives it like a good overview of why the cats. The reason we haven't gone too much into it is because that part of the story is technically revealed in Act 3, which is really the Tuxedo Cats story arc, which is right, that's kind of like the end. And we've kind of been like putting together like, okay, how does this work? So let's just put that somewhere in the manuscript so everyone's kind of clear on that. Let's see, where should I guess technically this is going to be under Tuxedo Cat. Let's see, because we have the 8 lives. I think Tuxedo Cat, no, Egyptian Viper, Tuxedo. Where's Tuxedo? I feel like I'm probably going to have to highlight each of these. So Tuxedo Cat basically made a deal with a god in exchange for immortality. Tuxedo wrangled the 7 other cats to help put an end to Hermes. And I think that's that. So Mass, definitely let us know if you still have questions, but I think that's like the gist of what the motivation is and why the cats are working together. I think the magic of them coming back from the past lives is going to be a indirect result of the god's power, of like the god's magic of the world. And I think maybe some type of deal of like, all right, Tuxedo probably got some type of magic power to be able to bring the ghosts or do some type of ghost thing. I think that's the way we'll do it. Okay, so let's hop back into Chat GPT. All right, so how do you think Pirate Cat turned out? How do you think Parrot turned out?
It can't be worse than before. Oh, that's actually a lot better.
This one's a little better. This one's a little better. This is better than this. But granted, I didn't put cat, so that was on me. Okay.
The
And we
first one
got,
looks a lot closer, I think.
I agree. I think this one looks better. So we're going to go for this one with Parrot. And then that brings us to Kindness Cat. Let's see.
Kindness Cat does not have a description yet, so I haven't given her one. Well, at least not like a concrete one. Here's the baby.
Let's see, and then I downloaded this. So then we'll get. All right, perfect. So you have. Again,
so for Kindness Kitten,
because that means that we're just going to have to give it a generic description. We can always add to it. Or I mean, we're going to come out with the description here. So far, what do we have so far for Kindness Cat? Of which Lucky. We need an image for the following character type. A cat named Lucky. I already know the image. I actually already know what type of image. They are absolutely adorable. And they are
kitten with a
absolutely
red
adorable
bow.
and use their large eyes to lull others into a sense of safety. And which is funny because Mary brought up a great point. So Kindness Kitten, I think Kindness Kitten is essentially a siren.
I was actually thinking we would play into Hermes, not exactly love, but like of children, because she's a kitten. So an adult cat he might be willing to ignore, but like a kitten who's like 4 months old, no, he's not going to be able to ignore her. He's going to feel bad if he tries to ignore her.
Yeah, that's actually really, really good. And I think that's why Hermes gets kind of lulled into that arc. Because Hermes has a soft spot for young, and Kindness Cat takes advantage of that. I saw absolutely, yes. They're absolutely adorable and use their large eyes to lull others into a sense of safety. The
description I gave her previously is a white cat with a red bow.
A white cat with a red bow. I like that. Because
I tried to make her something that would cat aside would automatically be adorable.
They are secretly, they are diabolical. Secretly, they are diabolical and evil because they have been driven to grief due to the loss of their owner. All right, and I think that's good. We'll see what we get for that one. Okay, so then in the manuscript itself.
Yeah, I've already started typing a little bit.
Yeah, you're all good. So let's see. Where is our plotting notes? So let's see. What do we got here? Hey, what's up, TR? Glad to have you in here, my friend. You're like, how's the writing coming along? Actually been coming along really, really well. We're making some really, really great progress. Let's see. And then Master, like, okay, I don't see Ginger Cat being Magnane, as he is very much a hit. I don't know what Magnane means. Maybe it was just a misspelling. Manine? Yeah, I'm not sure.
That's what I was kind of thinking.
Let's see. And you're like, not sure why we're making them all bad guys.
They're not all bad guys. Ginger Cat is not. At least I don't believe he's been written that way, has he?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think they're all bad guys. Let me think. So, and I agree with you. I don't think all the cats have to be bad guys. I think Tuxedo is a very clear bad guy, but I think all the other cats are doing it for very different reasons, right? So I would say that our the Egyptian Viper, I wouldn't consider her a bad guy, but she's very highly egotistical and very self-centered, right? So she's doing this for self-interested reasons. Parrot, Parrot's a Viking pirate, so you can, depends on if you think pirates are bad guys. Parrot,
he's literally just having fun, so he's definitely not a good guy, but I don't see him as bad personally.
So, but each of them are motivated for different reasons. So like Tuxedo is the bad guy, but Tuxedo probably like would have played into their weaknesses. So Tuxedo probably would have offered the Egyptian Viper some type of gold, or the Scarab or something that they wanted. Tuxedo would have offered Parrot, like maybe he offered him like his own pirate crew, something to that extent. Yeah, they're definitely not all bad guys, but I could see how it would come across. Lucky
And
Cat.
I don't think the chivalrous cat's gonna
No,
really be a
Chival
bad
Cat's
guy
a good
either.
guy. Chivalrous cat. So I would say that when we think of like cat styles, I would say Egyptian Viper is neutral. I would say Viking Pirate is neutral. Lucky Cat is definitely evil. There's like no doubt. Lucky Cat is definitely evil. Chivalrous Cat is definitely a good. I would say Chivalrous Cat is definitely a hero. Is a hero. Victorian Cat, I would say, is probably neutral. Ginger Cat is definitely a hero. And then I think Vegan or Speedy, our mad scientist, probably evil. Especially because they're in Act 3. We probably need to play into them being more of an evil cat, especially since Ginger Cat was probably such a good character in the previous one. Yeah, so I think that would be the way to go about that. But Master Toaster, that's a great call out. I would say of the 8 cats, then that means that, let's see, Tuxedo is evil, Speedy, Scientist is evil, Lucky Cat is evil.
Lucky Cat
So,
is super evil.
So 3 of them are evil. So that's the 3 evil, 2 heroes, and then 3 neutral. So I think that's actually a good balance. 3 evil, 2 hero, 3 neutral. I think that's actually a good balance between the 8 of them, because Hermes has gone through different iterations, but he's done some very like bad stuff, which is one of the reasons he wants to be left alone. Like he's running away from, he's basically running away from the bad shit that he's done. And we technically think about it, so yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, we could also make it like he's running away from all the shit he's done without even realizing it too. Since he's like, not aware of the lies in the first place.
Wait, sorry, one more time, Sol.
So I'm thinking, what if he doesn't know he's running away from that?
Wait, which one?
That because he doesn't know, at least at first, that these are his past lives, that he might have like this general feeling of running away from something, of trying to avoid crap.
Yeah, actually, I completely agree. Yep, I agree with that. Hermes is definitely running away. Absolutely. But he doesn't know why he's running away. I agree. Let's see. Courtney, you're like, is Kindness a munchkin?
Kindness is not a munchkin. She is a generic white cat. However, she is very tiny because she's like 4 months old.
Yeah, because she's a kitten, right? So she's as munchkin as kittens get.
I could hold her in my hands.
Let's see. Okay, let's see. What do we got for our lucky cat? All right, guys, drum roll. Let's see what ChatGPT gave us. And
oh, that's almost creepy.
This is like I think this one is so creepy. Oh my god.
It makes me think of like a ventriloquist dummy or something.
Oh my god. There's something like very creepy about this. But I'm trying to think of if I like this style or not. What do you think, guys? Do we think this works, or should we try again?
I think you should try again. That almost seems a little too close to cartoony.
We like the style, and we like the design and shadowing of the first image. Make it feel less cartoony. All right, because I like the shadowing because it gives this kind of like evil undertone, which I think is actually perfect. So I think that
click regenerate, by the way. Looks like it didn't want to work.
Sorry,
I didn't want you to miss that.
We look. Oh no, it's going perfect. Courtney's like, we have to try again. Hey, what's up, So? Welcome, my friend. We're designing cats right now. Okay.
That looks a little better.
This one's I think this is better because we wanted that less cartoony vibe. I think this is perfect, and I actually like
the first one. Also makes me think of a cat from Nobility too.
I like the green eyes because the green eyes is a really nice contrast with the red.
Oh yeah, especially with that lighting.
I like that. Perfect. So let's do this. Granted that she's a little older. She's a little older than we were thinking. She doesn't look like a kitten in this one. She looks like she's probably like young adult. Um, okay, so let me try one more time. Love the first one. Try once more. Keep the shadowing. Keep the eye color and the all right, it gave me something else.
That is really disturbing, actually.
I know this one's just wait, what happened with the last one? What the heck? Well, I guess we
Oh,
don't
you clicked the
I see.
arrows.
These are different styles. Okay, I see. Because it didn't generate the first one. I see what happened. Or it's trying to regenerate. Okay, so interesting. I almost feel like this one's a little closer, but the thing is like that I mean that one just this almost looks like this would be like the mad scientist, the speedy one.
Yeah.
I almost feel like this is like mad scientist. Like, but we could play around. I like this. She just feels more like a love interest than like almost. Oh, I feel like she should be the Victorian cat. The cat that they save. This almost looks like that. That could be like that type of daughter type cat potentially.
Mm,
Mm,
There's something a little off about this one.
yeah, it's like I like this. I just want her to be younger.
Yeah.
What do you think, Sol?
Yeah, I love that one, but yeah, I would agree younger. Just not the crackhead one. I'm sorry, but that's exactly what she looks like. It is just
Okay.
that it is just that creepy.
Like number. All right, so let's say, and then Courtney was saying like, looks older than you wanted though, too old. Oh my god, I like the hair wisp on the second one. We could totally play it. We could play into the hair wisp if we really wanted to. So let's say love number 4. Love the fourth one. Love the fourth one. Make keep the shadowing. Keep the shadowing to give an ominous undertone. Make the eyes greener and make the eyes greener and keep the character style. Let's see what it does for that one. Let's see. Courtney was saying second page, second picture. Let's see. Courtney was saying that she really liked this one.
I kind of like that one too.
There is something really adorable about this one. Granted, I could just change the eye. I could change the eye colors in Photoshop. That's not actually. I think that would be a doable thing. Because I love
what
eye colors so much better.
Let's see what it generates and then decide, between those two. Oh, the second one.
I think I like the second one. I think this is.
And the eyes are like there's more color to them.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think, and I kind of like that we get the hair a little bit. What do you guys think? You think you think this one's a good one for our for Lucky? All right, love these. Love these. Keep the second one. Give us a bigger bow tie. Make them slightly more feminine, and slightly bigger eyes. Let's see what it gives for that one. Okay. Yeah, I know. I saw that too. Okay, so You're generating images too quickly. Yeah, this is the problem when you start generating really quickly. All right, so we'll come back to that. Lucky Cat. So in a very core essential story beat, so what are you thinking for the style or for the overall plot of Lucky Cat?
So, because she came from nobility, she could be trying to find a way back into the castle, let's say. But she's unable to because she keeps being driven out.
Lucky
And
Lucky Cat keeps being. Oh well, okay. So wait, Lucky Cat. We're in some type of Irish. You say we're like in an
so
Irish
what I'm
type
thinking
setting?
is she's a cat from nobility, and they had
Mhm.
castles back then.
Mhm.
And after her human died, she was kind of just shoved out. Well, now she's this dirty little white kitten with a scrappy little bow covered in mud and dirt,
Mhm.
and the humans don't want her stepping foot into their clean castle. She wants to get back in there, but these humans are just adamant she doesn't go in there. So she's like, okay, you know what? I need to get back in here. Can you help me find a way back in? But doesn't tell him that they're actually trying to get rid of her. So when they see
Mm.
this really scruffy older cat trying to
Oh,
get
so you know what?
in,
She could totally pretend that like they all know her and that she's like high ranking like nobility still. She could totally play into that. Because the only thing with the sneaking in thing is the sneaking in thing is a little similar to the
oh, that's
Egyptian.
true.
So I think I think we could play into the nobility thing, since technically the nobility thing might be like a technically undertone from our first cat life, which actually isn't a bad thing. What do we got, Courtney? What if the humans are looking for her, but don't believe she is the kitten they're looking? Totally. They go up to the guards, and she's like, "We're not the cats you're looking for." It's totally a Star Wars reference. For any of our Star Wars, you're like, "We're not the droids you're looking for." We could totally do a Star Wars reference. But they don't believe she is the kitten they're looking for. Yeah, I
Also, I'm
agree.
gonna say this: up until like a certain point in history, boys and girls look the same. They dress the same until like they reached, I think, age 13 or something.
You know what we could? We actually, you know what we could do? We could have Kindness Kitten hop into be small enough that she can hop into Hermie's sack. So Hermie's like she's kind of like whispering into Hermie's shoulder the entire time. So Kindness Kitten actually stays with Hermes during that arc. And
Yeah.
that if they're confronted by guards, she can just be like whispering into his ear. Kind of like she could almost be playing both like the devil on the shoulder and the angel on the shoulder at the same time.
Oh, that'd be perfect for her.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And then I think we could still have her trying to get Hermes into this castle. Um, let's see. Or let's see. Do we have them try to sneak into a castle though? So that way it feels different than the Egyptian arc.
This would actually be different because with the Egyptian, that was a temple,
Mhm,
and so that was kind of like a community space sort of like for acolytes, priests,
mhm.
etc. A castle is an entirely different story. That is just
Yes.
one family
Yes,
in
let's have them
circles.
sneaking into a castle because this gives me the perfect transition to chapter 5. Let's have the chapter 4 end with them with some type of prison cell. Let's have them end in some type of dungeon, and then Hermes gets pulled and thrust into Chivalrous Cat's arc, who's been imprisoned. So then Chivalrous Cat arc, he has to help Chivalrous Cat escape from a medieval prison.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
And I think if we do it where technically 4, we could have them be like reverse. 4 sneak into the castle, 5 sneak out of the castle. And I think we can do it in a way where Chivalrous arc is like the Shakespearean hero, but then our Lucky is like the evil, the diabolical of like, oh, we'll be fine. Yeah, I think we could do that. Yep, could give Hermes fake confidence, thinking he's done this before. It'll be easy and simple, but it isn't. Yeah, so I think we do that. Do you like that idea of them sneaking in like that?
Yes.
Perfect. Let's do
Now
that.
my only
So,
thing is there's got to be 2 choices because all of these work on the same pattern. They have a split path.
mhm,
I'm gonna put you down, baby. Yeah. But each of the chapters has a split path.
mhm,
There's
mhm,
path A and path B, and each
mhm,
of those have at least 3 choices. Have 3 choices each in the manuscript.
mhm.
So we'd have to figure out what is the split path for them for the kindness kitten?
Yeah, I mean, I think, we could actually play into what ML's thinking. Lucky could ask for Hermes to obtain a Trinity knot or triquetra, symbol of life. Would that play into that time period? Because technically we're in the Irish time period, right? But technically we could do something that's supernatural. I say that anything that is not in that time period, we play into a supernatural element. Because chapter 4, we don't I think we're going to call it the Mythic War. Doesn't really happen until chapter 6, or end of chapter 5. But I think we can start playing into this. Let's see, Hermes. So Lucky Cat.
So from what I looked up, the Irish triple knot, it actually would have existed at that time period. However, it would be slowly starting to phase out and become more historical rather than current. But that could still work.
You said it's, what was that? Can you repeat it one more time?
So the Irish triple knot, I just looked that up. By the 1200s, it would start becoming more. It sounds like it'd be a little more historical rather than current. But it's not completely phased out, so it could definitely still be there.
It could be like a mythological type artifact. We could type in a folktale type creature into
the thing is, though, we already had Hermes looking for a specific item in the second chapter. Do we really want to do that again?
Yeah, you're right. We don't want to have them looking for an item again. I think we need to do a little different, only because chapter 2, they're literally going to go get an item.
Yeah, that is a good idea, though. So thank you.
We could have Lucky give Hermes an item. Be like, hey, this is going to help you, but it's actually only going to make it's going to make it harder for Hermes.
What if she gives him like a necklace or something that belonged to the kid, and if the people in the castle see him with it, they think he stole it?
It could be yes. I say we do that. We could also have it give it a magical effect and have it be like making Hermes weaker throughout. And maybe we do it where it's technically draining his soul, or it's draining his soul. So then he gets to the end and then he's basically powerless.
And that's why he gets thrown into the dungeon.
Yeah. Yep.
So let's see, jewelry during that time period.
It stays with Hermes in his pack.
A circlet.
Gives him.
It's kind of like an armband. It could be that something that he could wear that would be noticeable.
Yes, I agree. It should be noticeable. But can we play it into something that would be more familiar for Hermes? Because you could do something where you can do a point where maybe Hermes is like, I feel like I've worn this before, or something like that.
Circlets are kind of an elf thing.
Actually, they are. That is a really good point. Let's see. So
I just feel like necklace is just a little too common, but a ring doesn't sound right for him either.
Yeah, I agree. Gives him a type of jewelry. We'll go circlet.
And I honestly do not feel like Hermes in his current life would be willing to wear some kind of headdress or headgear.
Which technically, Kindness Kitten or Lucky doesn't even want Hermes to break into the castle. Kindness Kitten just wants Hermes to wear the circlet long enough to sap his energy. Technically, right? So Kindness Kitten is
a good cat and help her.
Yeah, exactly. Because Corgi encouraged it before Lucky sent him chasing after a ball of yarn. So he gives him a type of jewelry that saps his soul. Hermes goes through a castle as his energy is being drained, ends him getting captured. Yeah, and I think that would be it. He probably gets thrown into a dungeon, but then he gets pulled from one dungeon into another. Awesome. And you're like, hi, what are those different document tabs? Are there completely different files or what? So that's a great question. For those of you, let's see, let me pull back up here. I can definitely pull. Great question. By the way, welcome to the stream. What we're doing is we're developing our story, our Hermes the cat story. I can share this. If you want to come hop in and come join us, here's this Google Doc. There you go. If you want to come check out the Google Doc, Waza, if you want to come check it out, that kind of lists all the different elements, right? So the first one is kind of the event, the description of the event and how you can be involved. We had the manuscript, which we're writing. And then all these are just different elements of the story, right? We have character notes, world building notes, plot notes, and so on and so forth. So that way, if you want to learn more about what we're doing. Awesome. Let's see how our image. Okay, so now enough time should have passed. All right, so let's try this again. Love these. Give me a bigger bow tie. So I'll try this one more time. We'll move on to generating the next cat. Let's see if we can get.
So chivalrous cat, I do have a basic.
Yeah, I think I like. I say we go with left one. What do you think? And by the way, Waze, like you should definitely join us. You should definitely come in. Like we've made it really easy for people to be involved. Like if you want to just like, you can always just throw up ideas if you want to get it inspired by it, or if you want to come hop in and like write with us, you're definitely more than welcome to. I'd say you just catch up on the story elements and then come join us in the Google Doc. Let's see what I think I like this one. I think I'm good with this one.
Yeah.
I can make your eyes stand out a little bit more. And I can darken it so the shadows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say we're gonna go with this one.
Also, perfect. I just sent you the description for a chivalrous cat of what I have for them so far.
Perfect. So, all right. So then we're good with chapter 4, which is kindness. Our lucky. Lucky is our kindness cat. Let's go back to our plot. All right. So we're good with chapter 4. Let's go to chapter 5. So chapter 5 is our chivalrous cat. So first off, guys, we need a name for chivalrous cat. Let's see. Maybe we do some type of name that references a Shakespeare character. I was like, we could do like a Shakespeare reference and play into that. We don't have to, but what do you guys think?
We could call him Romeo since he's also like a desperate romantic.
I thought of that as well. I was like, do we call him Romeo? I was like, was that too on the nose? Because so I actually had the same exact thing. Do we call him Romeo? But I almost feel like we should give him more of a nickname, and less of like a name.
Romeo actually has been used as a nickname. I've heard it a lot. I've heard it used as both a name, but I mainly hear it as a nickname, and unfortunately, it's usually used in like derogatory terms of people mocking somebody for just being idiots.
I know, for being a Romeo.
Oh God.
Let's see, chivalrous cat. Let's see what we can get here. So let me pull up. Where is the description?
Freaking nuts.
Let's see. We need an image for the following character description. Chivalrous cat. It's like, I don't need this thing's in the way. Okay, so we need an image for the following character description. Chivalrous cat, a handsome russet brown cat with a wilted rose between their teeth. A hopeless romantic on a quest for true love. Has a tendency to quote Shakespeare. All right, so let's see what we get for that one. Perfect. And then we'll go back over here. Romeo. Yeah, I don't know. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that we should name our chivalrous cat Romeo. What do you guys think of on naming structures for our chivalry cat? I think so far, so obviously our chivalrous cat is chasing to save his true love. Oh, chivalrous cat was caught in prison because he was trying to rescue his true love. I think that's why chivalrous cat is stuck in prison. So Hermes gets them out, but then chivalrous is like, we're not leaving till we rescue.
No, it shouldn't be rescue. That chivalrous cat is trying to see them and being kept from them. That maybe their true love is like
That's
being
right.
kept from them because of like status or some other, common reason back then.
The true love
chivalrous cat is seen as like too common for them.
I like that. So chasing chivalrous cat arc, they wanted to see their true love, who is a high symbol of royalty, and was thrown in dungeon for repeated attempts. Let's see. And then the story arc is Hermes helps them get out of dungeon. They let's see. Actually, okay, so let me think of names. I'm gonna do another ChatGPT. What are clever nicknames for a chivalrous cat who is a hopeless romantic? And my reference Shakespeare. So you see what we got for chivalrous cat. I was like a little
not as bad as I was expecting.
Let's see. All right. Make it in the medieval time. So they are more of more like a Robin Hood type.
Yeah. I will say though, I do like the one on the left. Or the first one, sorry.
There is something very suave about them. I would feel like we might be able to do this for another one.
Yeah.
Make it in the
other one just looks kind of boyish
times, so they are more of a Robin Hood type. Let's see what else, and make it slightly less cartoonish.
Yeah, cartoony wouldn't really work for this one.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's see. Hermes helps them out of dungeon. Let's see if we got any nickname ideas. So let's see. So nicknames: Sir Percival, Meow, Romeo.
Oh my god! No puns.
Sir loves a lot. Well, I think I got all the nicknames that Hermes is going to be calling him. The Meowchin to Venice, Oathpaw, Matt Cat, Puck the Romance. I was like, oh my god, some of these are funny.
I love the Sir loves a lot. Hermes needs to call him that at least once.
Yeah. They call me Romy, and he starts purring. He always purrs whenever he calls himself. They call me Ro. He starts purring. Meow. Like he always does that as a trademark thing. We could actually totally. I think I'd be fine with doing that. Doing Ro meow. And I would do it like this. Oh my god, that's hilarious. ChatGPT thinks you're making a children's movie. I know it's absolutely hilarious. All right, let's. Okay, we're slightly a little too realistic now.
But I have to admit that they're really good.
Let's see. I like the right one a little more. Okay, let's see. I like the right or the second one.
Second one.
one more. But I like, what's missing? Give it a more supernatural undertone.
Mm-hmm.
Undertone. The more supernatural undertone. Yeah. Should we make the eyes? Should we make the eyes a certain color? Give it a more supernatural. Should we make it like a different style? What? Let's see. What? This was the right coloring of it, right? It had some russet brown. Okay. Give it a more
Honestly, honestly, I have to. These cats look a little more on the ginger side, which isn't exactly a bad thing. But I was thinking their fur would be a little darker.
Make their fur color darker. And give them more. They probably have more like cuts and scratches because they've always been like fighting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Make their fur color darker and give them more cuts / scratches for always being in sword fights. All right, let's see what we get that time. Corin's like, hate the noses. I know, this always cracks me up. Okay, so we're good with that. So I'll go Romeo. Hermes helps them get let's see. Hermes helps Romeo get out of dungeon. Romeo only agrees to help Hermes if he can get him to his true love. The true love turns out to be a werewolf who Tuxedo Cat turned. And this is the supernatural part of this. This is when we're going to start playing into the supernatural. I think what I'll do, and I think so I'd love your input on this. I think when I get to the end of this section, I think though I'm going to twist the world a little bit and then start throwing more supernatural themes. Like, because technically the end of this time period, I mean, technically, so supernatural wars technically happens during Victorian.
Okay,
but I
wait,
think
I just had an idea for Tuxedo Cat and the whole supernatural thing.
Mhm.
What if turning chivalrous cat's love into a werewolf is what starts everything, is the first domino that sets everything off?
That's interesting.
Because if he
Okay,
had
so
not
I
done
think we're
that,
just set it off. I think Tuxedo would have had to have done something that affect. I mean, okay, so the factions aren't technically a thing yet. I mean, we have to think about the faction. I think yes, but I think Tuxedo would have had to have done multiple things. So, like, I say,
it
yes.
could have something to do with his deal with the god.
It could be actually. Is the world changed because Tuxedo has gone back in time?
What if it's something like, okay, so you have to you have to get rid of Hermes and I will give you immortality, but because that is such a high value price, you have to do something else in return. And so, well, like the werewolf thing, like the god could actually have some kind of ulterior motive themselves of changing the world, and like Tuxedo has to spread these things around the different lives, the different time periods. So like the Kelpies in Ireland, God, now I'm the hippocampus, harpies, the werewolves, the vampires, all of those could be products of the god themselves, like overall. But Tuxedo's the one that actually picked when they started.
Yeah,
because it was part of his deal.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I think that's a really good idea. And I think that'll play. I think we're just exploring the werewolf aspect of it, but then I could have him reference how he set things in motion that affect other creatures.
And like we could actually, and that could actually play into he's so desperate for the immortality that he didn't think about the consequences. So like he knows he's doing it, but it's not until much later that he realized how badly it turned out.
Yeah, so Hermes is gonna win this fight. But Tuxedo, so this time Hermes will win this fight then. He'll get a truth. Tuxedo escapes, but then leaves behind that sinister, like the sinister thing of like, I've changed the world. I'll probably have the corgi come in before Hermes gets killed, and then bring him into the Victorian cat arc. Okay, so I like that. I think that's a good direction for Victorian cat. Let's see what we got. Let's see. Oh wow.
Oh my god, yes.
Way better.
Both
Way
of
better.
those are
I think
just
way
so
better.
much better.
Yes. Let's go. I mean, ooh, this is a hard one. I'm actually pretty good with both of
I
them.
think I go with the second one.
This one a little bit more.
There's something about it that just seems a
It's
bit.
that
I
look.
think it's the profile. I think it's because we're not looking at him straight on.
I like. Yeah, let's go this one.
Plus, he also has that kind of. He also looks a little sadder in that one.
I agree. Perfect. So I like that one, and then
I sent you my my latest description of Ginger Cat from the game.
Okay, so let's go. Well, okay, so first, now we go to Victorian cat. All right, so chapter 6, Victorian cat. All right, who do we got next for Victorian cat?
Let's see.
Courtney's like, keep both of them different profiles for any artist who wants to draw them. Yeah, I kind of like that actually, Courtney. That's a really good idea. Because I think both of them work. I think both of them definitely work. I think that's a good idea.
All right, I just sent you the description for the Aristocat.
Excellent. All right, so now let's generate our aristocrat. Let's see, and then aristocrat just behind them. A floated petite calico. All right, so let's see a floated petite calico wearing a top hat and holding a silver hand mirror, the disdain on their face palpable. They are like a Scrooge McDuck type character. I should probably say it an aristocrat. Actually, they're if I say
I would specify aristocrat because that is going otherwise we may not get the kind of
I'll say that they are an aristocrat who values wealth and prosperity, but they have a soft heart for the three kittens. They have for the three troublemaker kittens that they have to watch over. Three kittens could be in the background. They're in who values wealth and prosperity, but they have a soft heart for the three troublemaker kittens that they have to watch over. These three kittens could be in the background. These three kittens could be in the background. Perfect. Let's see what that gives us. All right. So now for a Victorian cat arc. Let's see. Let me check comments. Let's see. Mass Toaster is like, careful writing aristocrat. Did the movie with cats named that?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Because honestly, my first thought was calling them an aristocat, but then I'm like, wait, no, that will get us.
Let's see. Mass was like, I really liked Morai being the big bad. Hermes is fighting against destiny. Which mythos does Morai come from, or which pantheon? Do you know?
I'm not 100% sure. I know I've heard of them.
Because my guess is Morai is probably Greek.
That's what I want to think.
And I haven't even checked the poll yet, so like Greek actually might. Yes, the Morai are Greek deities from ancient.
You know, I actually checked the poll earlier that we had, and Greek is winning so far. So
is Greek winning?
Yes.
Okay. So all right. But by the way, guys, if you haven't voted yet, go and vote. We'll deal with the poll after. Vote now if you have not voted. I just threw the YouTube poll in there. So go vote if you haven't done that. Let's finish mapping chapter 6 and 7, and then we'll come back to our mastermind, because the mastermind plot line is important. But I actually like that. I think Morai would be a good contender. It sounds interesting. We'd have to do a little research. You're like aristocrat, not aristocat. What if we have that being a thing of he's like, I am an aristocrat, not an aristocat.
Oh my God, yeah.
You could play into
Hermes
that.
used as an insult.
Yeah, that would
Oh,
actually be a
God.
funny insult.
My only concern with using that is just Disney is not friendly. I don't want to get in trouble. They're almost as bad as Nintendo.
You are right about that. That's something we have to be careful of. It's been so long. I might have seen the Aristocats movie when I was really young, so I don't really know what the references would be.
Basically, Duchess and her 3 kittens are aristocrats,
Mhm.
and they live with an older lady who has willed everything she has to them, and
Mhm.
her servant or butler or whatever he is ends up trying to get rid of them, and they end up traveling with this alley cat who takes them back home.
Mhm.
It's a cute little movie. I watch it every once in a while.
Okay. So yeah, so I think we just play into the Scrooge McDuck aspect of it and make it like they're like the leader of this household. Um
I still think we should play into like the 3 kittens are actually theirs by marriage alone because they
yeah,
were forced into a marriage.
same exact thing as Scrooge McDuck. The 3 kittens are Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
They were his nephews, though,
They're
weren't
like
they?
trouble. Yeah, I think they were his nephews in the show, but I think more the idea of it is that the 3 of them are just troublemakers. What do you think?
I really do think that. I mean, I agree with keeping the troublemakers, but I think we should actually make them his kids.
Okay. Yeah, I'm totally
Just
I
because
agree. Because I think
it
making
makes
it
a
the
stronger
kids,
connection.
I agree. Let's see. So Victorian cat.
And
By
that
the way,
actually could show that he's not as opposed to the arranged marriage as he probably makes it sound.
is okay, per and we had it here. Has 3 kids due to an arranged marriage. A marriage. So chapter 6 should totally be a ghost haunting arc.
Mm-hmm.
Like chapter 6, and I think we were talking about it at some point, so but we could totally play into like the supernatural vibe. 6 should be like a strong supernatural chapter.
I think we were going to go with vampires with that, weren't we?
Oh, let's do both. Let's do vampires and ghosts, because obviously in 5 we're going to be ending off on werewolf. So 5 will end off on werewolf. Starts medieval, transitions into werewolf and some supernatural. And then 6 will be a full on. The world will have to be supernatural, even though it's Victorian. Like these other ones are like realistic world, supernatural undertone. Whereas chapter 6 will be supernatural world, real world undertone. Courtney, like kindness gives Marie in looks.
Yes, that's who I was thinking of. She's the white kitten from the Aristocats movie.
What once we get all once we generate these other cats, we'll I'll throw them up on screen for all you guys. All right, let's see what we got. Oh my god, I'm dying. I'm dying. Oh, I'm dying, guys. Oh my god. I like I mean, we got the cats in the background, but like
the head is too big alone.
Oh, all right. Try again. Try again. All the cats should be anthropomorphic. Anthropomorphic. The Aristocat. Let's see. The main cat. All cats. All the 3 cats in background. The 3 cats in background should be anthropomorphic. The main cat should be older. What do we think? Like older is kind of like not like old Ebenezer Scrooge old, but probably like
I
well,
think
like
he should
40s,
be like
50s.
middle-aged at least.
I think like late middle aged, like maybe
Yeah.
40s. I think like the main cat should be older, late middle aged. Middle aged. It picture should have supernatural undertone. Undertone, possibly referencing ghosts. I think ghosts would be. I think if I say vampires, it's going to give me something.
That we don't
Uh,
want.
yeah, right.
Maybe
At
make
least
a
for.
mistake like the winged werewolf thing.
Oh my god.
Also, I'm gonna say this. Yes, I'm gonna say cutesy. That is the kind of angry cute.
All right, let's see again. Well, we'll see what it gives us this time. But all right, guys. So now for a Victorian cat, what should we name our Victorian cat? Mass Toast, you're like vampires, fays, and ghosts were popular. Yeah. So we're definitely going to play into vampires and ghosts. I mean, we could play into the fairy culture. I'm just not very familiar with fae culture. So yeah, so that brings us into mind. Like, I think we know that. So after the midpoint, whatever happens in chapter 6 has to be difficult. Things have to be progressively more difficult for Hermes in this chapter. He has now learned that Tuxedo Cat, the main and bad guy, was responsible for starting the mythic war that changed the entire world. So now, and the cats obviously are, let's see, our flying corgi, so Valkyrie obviously wants, so we'll start here. Valkyrie wants, Valkyrie tries to convince Hermes to help to help stop Tuxedo, or he's only going to make it worse. I mean, we could introduce that in this midpoint that Tuxedo's trying to change things so that way he himself can become immortal. We could do the immortal thing, but make it like it's his own magic deal that he's doing. We could make it like it's his own plans, and then we don't show until Act 3. Oh, that it's actually happening as a result of this deal. We won't reveal the deal until Act 3, but we could introduce the immortal. Valkyrie tries to convince Hermes to help stop Tuxedo, or he will become immortal and do something evil. And we'll just put destroy all.
I was just looking up Fae folk during this
like
time
that.
period.
I kind of like that, by the way. So you're saying the ghost could be the ghost of the cat that chivalrous cat loved.
That she could be attracted to the next life that he lived.
He could totally be haunted by the ghost cats from each of the previous lives, not the cats themselves, like the companions. So you could totally throw in a reference to the werewolf cat being a ghost. You could totally throw a reference to the human who's a ghost from Lucky's chapter. You could throw a reference to maybe the pirate captain or pirates. You could totally do that. Like throw like ghost references very subtly if you wanted to. I think that's a really good idea.
I think I'm gonna do that. And I was just looking up Fae folk though in this kind of time period for the Victorian cat. The Fae that I'm actually thinking of are like the small little creep. I have to laugh at this.
The ghost of Christmas past.
No, I'm thinking like the little fairies, like the little Fae folk. They could actually be not like interacted with the Victorian cat himself, but as kittens. The kittens could be seen playing with him or something. They could be there, but they could be like in the background or something, but they're still there. And like anytime Hermes, like if Hermes would get close to them, they disappear or something. But the fact is, he's seeing them. There were different kinds of fae folk. And this is not the right area for marsh fairies, which are the little balls of light. Or wisp. And this, of course, I'm also picturing this like in London. And considering the fumes there actually could be wisp.
I mean, there could be. I mean, we could play into the wisps and make the wisps. I mean, we could get, and I totally imagine Valkyrie gets distracted chasing after a ghost for some reason.
Yeah, no, I think we should do the wisp because a wisp is going to look like a floating ball. So Valkyrie
is going to chase the wisp thinking it's yarn. Although I think that in the end, we actually introduce that Valkyrie actually gets some type of power from yarn. So we think he's just dumb, but we can actually have like a thing for why he's been chasing it this whole time.
Yeah. I like that. That could definitely work.
Victorian cat has 3 kids due to an arranged marriage. Or does he keep cats around because he's afraid? He is. So he is haunted. So we're gonna say haunted by ghost companions of his past lives. Perfect. He keeps the cats around. Keeps children and cats around. Because he's afraid of being alone. You could play into a butler type character if you really wanted to. For some reason, that makes me think they should have a butler or some type of butler character. Valkyrie tries to convince Hermes to help stop Tuxedo, or he will become immortal and destroy it all. Now, let's see. What does Victorian cat? Now, how do we tie Victorian cat and Hermes together? And then we also need a name. So we also need to think of what our Victorian cat's name is.
Let's see, the Victorian cat could be why Hermes has a taste for finer things. Like in general.
Like milk martini. We could actually have a Victorian cat be like, only drinks the best of the best quality milk. And he's the one who's always like Hermes like just grabs a flask and Victorian cat like knocks him with a cane and be like, that has to be poured in the correct. That has to be poured in the correct. That has to be a martini, sir. And like he could be a mixologist. We could have that thing like we could play into him like that could be a hobby of his. What could add a fun element to it? A milkologist. Oh man.
For the Aristocat, that actually could work. That he has a hobby of making the best drinks so that he only drinks the best. And just like it keeps feeding into it. It just like it keeps feeding into he drinks the best, so he makes the best. I really like the second one.
You like that's interesting. I really like the first one a lot. The second one.
Okay, the first one I have to admit those kittens fit perfectly.
No, the only problem with the second one is the hands.
Oh, off. I just noticed that.
Yeah, it screwed up the handing of it. That's always one of the most annoying things when like 90% of the image is great.
Yeah, I think I had an AI image the other day give me like 5 legs.
I like the cats in the background. I like that. My only concern is that this makes him a little too evil. But I mean, what do you think? Like, this makes me feel like he's definitely a bad guy in this. Nickname Dickens and Hermes could call me a dick. Wait, what? Dickens and what? Dickens and Hermes. Dickens. So his nickname is Dickens. Hermes could call me a dick. Like what a dick.
Oh
my god. Dickens. I mean, we could totally play into, and actually people would probably love this soul. We could play into classic writer tropes, like well-known writer tropes in this. The Victorian, you could play to like a Steinbeck reference. You could play to, there's so many classic writers. What a great way to reference our classics. I actually kind of like that, ML. I think that's a great idea.
It is.
I say we go with Dickens for that. I love that. Dickens the cat.
Oh yeah, and when Hermes meets him, he just bursts out laughing because
yeah, exactly. Hermes like, but I guess Dickens is unaffected by it. Dickens
Honestly,
probably.
it could actually be more of he's heard all the jokes, so he's just over it by that point.
So Dickens crafts him a milk tail. We'll call it instead of a mocktail or cocktail, a milk tail. And then Hermes is like, my hat's off to you, sir. I respect you. Oh my god. But every time that name comes up, I think that's great. So Victorian cat
This
art.
could
So
actually be one
Dickens.
life he gets along with too, which would make it I think the dynamic a little more interesting.
I think so because Hermes has a very like sarcastic, like sardonic sense of humor, and he wants to be left alone. I think actually of all the cats, now that I think about it, I think Dickens is the first cat that he actually gets along with well.
Mm-hmm.
Dickens is probably the first cat he actually likes, which makes me think then that by the end of chapter 6, this should be the life that he actually wants to stay in. Not because he actually cares about the cat, because he wants to sit back and drink milk martinis with Dickens and sit by the fire.
Oh god.
This should be the only one that he gets actually pulled out of unintentionally against his will, and he wants to stay there.
That would just be awesome.
And he could have a love. He could like be once again, same with Kindness Kitten. He could kind of be lured into like the 3 younger cats. But he's been hurt by the Kindness Kitten arc, so now he's just like on guard.
We could have if the kittens interact with fairies, we could actually have him walk into some kind of fairy circle. Like inadvertently.
Dickens is a master milkologist. Okay. What was that? You said with have him go
So
in a fairy circle?
if the kittens actually interact with fairies,
Mm-hmm.
then somehow Hermes could end up being inadvertently lured into a fairy circle. And that's what could cause him to leave that time period and
Mm-hmm.
end up with a ginger cat.
That could actually work because Hermes is lured into a fairy circle.
Mm-hmm. Because fairy circles, you step into them, you get transported.
Yeah, I could totally say that. Yes. So Hermes is Hermes. So the ending Hermes is lulled into a fairy circle.
Yeah, I
Then
actually just got an idea to expand on that. Hermes could be going after the kittens because they're going to go do something stupid. And he's like, okay, I don't like these kittens because, Kindness Kitten kind of screwed everything for him. But he cares about Dickens enough that he's like, okay, I can't let these kittens get hurt. So he follows them. And that's when he ends up in the fairy circle. Because he's actually trying to be decent.
Oh, that's kind of interesting. That's actually kind of a twist. End of chapter 5, end of the Romeo arc. Basically he learns the truth about Tuxedo. He's like, well, screw this. I'm not going to help you guys. I just need to get home. But this one, he's kind of lured into the life of finery of Milktails and then lured again through the kittens. So it's almost like his soft spot is poked in literally all directions. So I like that. Let's see. And by the way, ML brought up a good point with our sprites. You're like, a fairy sprite is a supernatural fairy-like creature that appears in European folklore. Sprites are often depicted as ethereal entities or spirits that live near water. They can be tricky. We could play into sprites like anything. I think chapter 6, I think we play into anything that could be an ethereal or slight ethereal. Fairies,
Well, honestly, I mean, with
sprites,
the living near
ghosts.
water, it works because what is one thing London is known for? The Thames. Giant
That's a
river.
good point. I don't know why I picture this taking place in like a haunted mansion. I feel like this is going to be like the ghost, like the ghost.
We could still have it in London, but have it like on the edges or something, where like the really old houses, the really well built, really high end, basically nobility kind of people live.
Yeah.
The aristocrats.
Haunted castle / mansion, London, on edge of town.
I just think with the Victorian, we really need to try to keep it to London, because it's
I agree.
a little bit of a cliche, but at the same
Mhm.
time, it fits way too perfectly. That it
Yeah,
almost be a
I
little bit of a
completely
crime
agree.
to ignore that.
I think we just have to play into the supernatural side of it as much as possible.
Well, if
So
there's more territory around the home,
mhm.
there's more space for these creatures to actually appear.
We also have to think about what faction, because now that we're in the supernatural world with the 4 factions, and I guess we have to just decide what part of the mythic war are they currently in during this time period. Um,
So this would be this would actually be the supernatural faction that he's in
yeah.
the Victorian cat.
Supernatural fiction, which I think that works because technically the story opened in the fantasy supernatural faction. So then this one we get to explore the supernatural fantasy faction. And then Ginger Cat, we get to explore the folklore, the folklore creatures.
Yeah, the folklore and the
Mhm.
cryptids.
Um, which I think there's only one other faction we haven't have that explored.
The mythological.
Which we'll be able to explore with our evil scientist, which is going to be a very easy. The next
The
we could.
scientists could actually be the reason there are chimeras.
Yep. I was like, that's exactly what I was thinking. I think that's perfect. So then we get to explore each of the 4 factions, of which chapter, what's that chapter? Where did my plot? Which is chapter 6, 6, 7, 8. I like that. All right. And by the way, I saw Megan. What's up, Megan? We saw you hop into that stream a little bit. We're totally making some great progress plotting out everything. Let's see. So did I can't decide if I like this one.
I honestly, looking at it more, I think it does fit, because his face in that one kind of makes me think of, I am in an arranged marriage. I did not ask for. I have kittens. I did not ask for. I am just done with this.
Yeah, he could come across threatening, but he's not evil.
Now that I think I've actually met people like that before, where they
Mhm.
actually just kind of have like that threatening aura, but they're really
And
they're not.
I would say that this is probably the life that Hermes got his sarcastic or his loner sarcastic type mindset.
Oh, he got the sarcastic from the Viking cat. He should get the loner aspect in the taste of finer things from this life.
Agreed. All right,
But the
we'll
snarkiness just straight up comes from the Viking cat.
we'll stick with this one for our aristocrat.
Jeez.
For Dickens the cat. So Hermes calls him a dick. Dickens is a master mixologist, has 3 kittens. So I think we fleshed out this world. What is what's the plot that we're gonna go with? What's the problem that Hermes needs to help him solve?
Maybe Dickens is tired of being haunted.
Oh yeah, get rid of the ghosts and you can go home.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm. And then as Hermes goes through it, Hermes like, actually, I could stay here with you and sit by the fire sipping martinis, right?
Yeah, because that would actually give him a chance to explore the house
Mm-hmm.
and see his life up close.
We
Because he's
got
like, okay, there's these ghosts around the house, get rid of them. And Hermes is like, oh, so I get to explore this really nice looking house, and I get to sit here by the fire and sip milk with you? Yeah, please.
Hermes has to hunt down the ghosts.
And I can already imagine the split choice with that one.
Yeah,
He either has to banish the ghost.
Hermes has to rid/banish ghosts from the mansion. And anybody who
rid and banish is a little bit of the same thing. I think he should either banish them or convince them to leave.
Hermes
because
has
it plays into him being charismatic.
So Hermes has to rid the mansion of, we'll just put ethereal beings, of ethereal spirits, ghosts, fae, sprites, whatever we want to go with. And I think that plays into that well. we could, and then to play into the vampire thing, we could have all of them are there because of a vampire. We could have the vampire be the reason that they're all in this mansion, and of which the vampire is probably an indirect result of Tuxedo.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Of which, why is during Dickens' time, they probably haunted the mansion or haunted this place to keep Dickens distracted, because Dickens is probably a very intelligent creature.
I could definitely see that.
He was probably sent into an arranged marriage to keep him distracted.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It really
Mm-hmm.
does.
Yeah, so I like that.
So like he's sent to an arranged marriage, he's given all these books, he's given all this education just to keep him busy.
Busy. It's all Gus mansion is haunted by a vampire who is ordered by a Tuxedo. But I don't think Tuxedo will show up in this chapter, but I think the vampire. And then
No,
at the
Tuxedo
end,
needs to show up with the ginger cat.
let's see, Ginger Cat. Yes. Okay. So we're good with Dickens the cat. Okay. So now on to everybody's favorite Ginger Cat. All right. So I know we've gotten a lot of work for Ginger Cat so far. All right. So let's now get an image generation for Ginger Cat.
So I did send you the latest description that I had for him. So
okay, and I know there's been a lot of work done for Ginger Cat. Was this the one? Let's see, a tubby cat stood before him. There was no his long beard, a shade lighter, a white starburst. Oh, that's right. I saw that. You pulled that from the manuscript or from the document.
That is actually not exactly from the document. That is something I put into the game today. But I'm not going to say anything about that live because I do not want to give anything away about that. That is going to be a surprise.
All right. Let's see. What do we have for Ginger Cat's description? Has long flowing ginger beard, mustache, and long ginger hair. He keeps things in his beard, especially food to eat later, which that's actually pretty funny. He carries a long wooden cane, and then this is the laser pointer. He has a white streak from the top of his head to his nose. He has a white tip tail with a small orange starburst at the top. His long beard is shade lighter than his fur. Was streaked with white. He keeps things in his beard, especially food to eat later. That's funny.
Yeah, I did add a few little details and fleshed out Ginger Cat's description just a tad, but really not much. It was mainly like the white streaks in the beard.
Let's see. So white starburst on his forehead, shown in the darkness, as did the stripe along his spine. His fur was scrappy, as if he didn't groom often. And then we can add the laser pointer. He carries a long wooden cane with a red light at the end. Perfect. He carries a long wooden cane with a red light at the end, which is a laser pointer. All right, and I think that's good. He has a white tip tail with an all, and we got the tail. As it did the stripe along his fur was as if he didn't groom out. He carries a long wooden cane with a red beard. He has a white tipped tail. He has lived a life of being a hippie, a monk, a wanderer. No, I think now he's a wanderer. Let's see, hippie, monk, and
a hermit.
Oh, and a hermit, and now a wanderer. I guess wanderer is probably before hermit. I think it's a hermit now. A wanderer, and now a hermit. All right, let's see what we get for our Ginger Cat.
I feel like I'm going to laugh so hard at this.
let's see. He is extremely friendly. He is the bravest of all cats. He will do what is right. Yep, forgetful not because he's old. It's a great sense of right and wrong. What? He is giving off Gandalf vibes with the laser pointer.
I could see that. I could see that. Honestly, give him a wizard hat and he probably would look like Gandalf.
Let's see. Ginger and decides to become a hermit. Mom. Let's see. So, Master, you're saying don't forget Mr. Peepers. I forgot who was that. Sola, do you remember? Mr. Peepers. I think it was some type of sidekick, wasn't it? Or like a bird or something like that.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't really looked much into the Ginger Cat because I've been focused like on doing the game and stuff. So, like I've skimmed, but I haven't like read.
Yeah,
his toy mouse.
Just remind. Oh, his toy mouse. His toy mouse. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. That totally makes sense. All right, so let's see, because what happens is if we give it more than one item, sometimes it doesn't generate as correctly. So let's see what it generates with the laser pointer, and then we can add that in. Oh my god! I like. Oh, this cracks me up so much. Oh my goodness.
The second one's a little closer.
The second one's a little closer. I don't know if he's quite a fat cat.
For some reason, when I pictured him as Tubby.
Did you?
Yes.
I was like,
I know that wasn't in his like actual description, but when I was picturing him, for some reason, I just kept thinking of a fat orange cat.
All right, so let's go. Let's go with the second image. Let's see. Give it a supernatural undertone. Undertone in a undertone, forest, or mountain vibe. Make the staff a laser. A worn laser pointer. Let's
Plus,
see.
I have to admit, the lighting in the second one alone is better.
Yeah.
Him having the blue overtone is just, I don't know, that doesn't feel right for him.
I guess it does kind of. I guess it is kind of funnier that he's like this like little like big like puffy cat.
Yeah, because I mean, you got two types of cats. You got basically the string beans, and then you have the potatoes. I really feel like he falls in the second category.
Let's see. Let's go. Give it a super. Make the staff a worn laser pointer. He also has a toy mouse. Let's see if we can get that in. Let's see what it gives us. Hey, what's up, RA? Welcome. We are doing a lot of plotting out for our story right now. Let's see, world building, plot. So we're on chapter 7, which is our Ginger Cat arc. Let's see. ML, you're like, nickname Sage, a mentor in spiritual and philosophical topics who is renowned for profound wisdom. Sage, a Ginger Cat, Sage.
Yeah, I could see that.
I could see Sage as a name. I'm trying to think. I mean, Ginger Cat I think once again, Ginger Cat is an exception. We could do. I mean, he could go by different nicknames. We could go like different mentor type nicknames. And like every single time Hermes tries to make a joke, he's like, they call me Sage. But every single time he's very straightforward about it, like that's what his name. Or the next time they're like, they call me the hippie. But we could do something like that. I'm trying to think of what things to play around with. Yeah, I was thinking of him as skinny as well, but like I think the chubbier one actually does work. I'm like, okay, I could see the chubby totally. Jacasa. GCS, Ginger Cat Sage or Jacasa. He just has the weirdest name. Jacasa. All right, let's see. Ginger Cat Sage. GCS. Like, my name is GCS. What does that stand for? I'll tell you when you're older. Let's see. Interesting. So now this is what we got this time.
That's a little better.
Yeah, we're getting kind of better. I mean, we got the mouse this time, but something tells me we're not going to be able to get the laser pointer.
Nah, probably not.
No, I could just tell. GPT's probably not going to be able to generate it.
You know, you could describe the stick as thick with pale bark and a red tip.
With pale bark. Well, you know what we
like
could
a birch
do?
branch.
You know what we could do? We could have it actually be a staff, but he changes. The staff shape changes.
Oh.
So sometimes it appears as a laser pointer. Sometimes it appears as like a cane. Sometimes it appears as like different things that are maybe references to his previous lives.
Yeah, definitely. That would definitely work.
So like the
Plus,
cane
that
would be
would
a
actually
reference
play
to
into
Victoria.
that would play into the whole like there's magic in the world kind of thing too. Illusion magic.
Yep, I like that. He's probably the first cat who has some type of affinity for magic.
That would definitely work and would make a lot of sense.
I agree. I like that.
I do kind of like the wizardish vibes, but I feel like it's.
So let's try again. Let's try again. We like the second one slightly better. Make him slightly thinner. Let's see what happens if we go thinner vibe. What do we feel is missing?
I think you should have like some kind of robe.
Make him slightly thinner. Have a and have a monk type robe. Yeah, I think he needs a robe. No, mouse toy. Yeah, it's like the mouse toy, like, because it's just, I don't think it will be able to make it look like a toy is the problem. But I'm not actually opposed to him having a mouse that always crawls around. I think that that is something fun we could play into. Let's just do that for now. Try again. The second one, make him slightly thinner and have a monk type robe. Let's see what we get this time. All right. So for our ginger cat, let's go into our plot. Character notes. So let's say I know that we were I think you were having let's see, I think we actually had some stuff going on here. Chapter 7. Excellent. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. I love what I'm seeing. And I was trying to look at this earlier too. And I think we were thinking with the Ginger Cat arc is he has to go up some type of like mountain.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that.
Oh my god, I actually love both of those things. Mary's like, does the toy mouse have catnip in it? It's a reminder that he has to be above his mouse, but you don't learn about it until the very end. Until like the end of the chapter. I think that'd be funny. Here, like ML, since he burns things down, call him Pyro. I was like, I don't think Pyro would work for Ginger Cat per se. Yeah, I don't know if Pyro would work for Ginger Cat, but I could see it working maybe for the scientist cat, Speedy or Pyro. Was thinking thinking Kaz like you can't change the past. I agree. I think the mouse. I think the mouse thing, we should think it's a mouse because he can't change the past, but he's actually referring to the catnip inside of it. And I think that's that's how we play into that. Let's see. So where we at? Let's go back to the plot. All right. So let's see. What do we want for the character plot? I think we actually had a really good recommendation. Google Forms. Let's see. Where did it go? I think we actually had I think we had a really good recommendation for the Ginger Cat arc. I just have to remember where it was. All right. So I think I like some of the ideas that we had for Ginger Cat. Essentially, I think this Ginger Cat arc is that Hermes has to go on some type of spiritual quest. Hermes just wants to go home, and Ginger Cat is like, home is where the mouse is. Or home is where the heart is. So I think the Ginger Cat arc works on Hermes has to undergo a spirit quest. I think this is going to be the first chapter 7 is probably going to be one of the first times that Hermes is actually conflicted. I think Hermes is going to be really probably conflicted in this chapter. Especially then the end of Act 2 has to be very dark because we have to have a end of Act 2 has to be a rock bottom for Hermes because the midpoint at the end of chapter 5 was actually a high point since he wins against Tuxedo and learns more about the world. So the end of Act 2 is actually going to have to be a low point. Let's see. Well, let's see. Was thinking more with rejecting his past lives. Yes. Well, let's see. So I mean, I think rejecting his past lives. Yeah, and I mean, I actually agree with that, Mass Toaster. I think what this chapter explores is it explores that Hermes rejecting his past lives, right? Because he's technically rejected them throughout the entire story, but now he's basically being forced. Now he's going on the spirit quest, and he kind of has to. He's like, yeah, no, screw these past lives. They all suck. He's like, yeah, no wonder I want to live in my my own world and be left to my own devices. I know, right? This is a crazy cattail. Tell me about it, Amel. Let's see. Explores. Ginger Cat. I think for now we'll go Ginger Cat will be the Ginger Cat will be the sage. Sage. I mean, actually, what if we just do something? We just keep it the one cat of he's like, call me the Ginger Cat. Why don't we just play into that actually?
Yeah.
It's like that. We actually could just do that, like that, because I feel like Ginger Cat is kind of an exception to all to the other cats because he's the most enlightened. And then we just give him like random nicknames. So I think that actually could work. We could even do a joke of like Hermes, like, what do you want me to call you? Like, what nickname do you want me to call you in this life? And he's like, Ginger Cat. We cannot be more than we are. We are a cat.
We're just basically gonna have him just. Oh God.
Awesome. So then this chapter, Hermes has to undergo a spirit quest. Explores Hermes rejecting his past lives. Let's see. This was the supernatural, and then this arc has to take place during folk. So this chapter is going to explore should explore folklore creatures, the folklore faction / creatures, Bigfoot, Loch Ness, etc. That it should explore that type of creature type. Maybe he has to travel up a mountain or forest. Let's see what image we got. Oh man.
Why am I thinking Star Wars?
I know. Now I've totally gotten Star Wars. There's like baby Star Wars from here. I know. Now we've gone from Fat Cat to Star Wars. I know this totally looks like the Star Wars robe. Um,
Yeah, I was thinking of a mix between Yoda and Grogu, basically.
I know. All right, so I think I like this one a little bit more. I think the robe needs to change. Like the second image, make the robe more of a worn hermit styled. Yep, I agree. Mass Toaster is about loving others, including his past self. Completely agreed. Hermes Ginger Cat arc. He is about loving others, including his past selves. I mean, technically, like this chapter could explore Ginger Cat. No, actually, we should. Wait, never mind. I don't think that's a good thing I was going to say. So I think overall, we just do some type of spirit quest for this one. And then Hermes is having Hermes self-discovery chapter. Now, for the end of Act 2, I've been thinking about it for some time. I think what's going to make sense for the end of Act 2, and it's going to be a shock surprise. So I think Hermes' actions, for Hermes to be at a rock bottom, his actions in in the Ginger Cat chapter is eventually him having to either accept or reject his past selves. He rejects his past selves at every step along the way. The Ginger Cat arc, he now has to he's now like forced to confront them, and he still rejects them. At the end of the chapter, because he rejects his past selves, his actions inadvertently end up killing Ginger Cat.
Yes.
So Ginger Cat will die at the end of the chapter inadvertently as a result of Hermes' failure to accept his past selves. Ginger Cat will resurrect and come back to life later in Act 3 as the game over ghost. And you'll find and we'll learn that Ginger Cat is actually happier and more spiritually enlightened as a ghost now that it can potentially haunt Hermes forever.
Oh, this is gonna be awesome.
Mm-hmm. So I think that's the perfect rock bottom to end off the arc, because all of the previous cats, Hermes either helps to some extent or falls victim to their traps. I think Ginger Cat is the first cat where Hermes indirectly changes Ginger Cat's arc by basically accidentally ending his life or something like that. But it shouldn't be directly. It should be inadvertently as a result of his actions. So playing into that, Hermes rejects his past selves and inadvertently gets Ginger Cat killed, which leads Hermes to a rock bottom of him literally being forced to confront his actions of like, what am I? Which will actually lead into a really dark chapter for chapter 8, because we have to make the stakes worse. Perfect. Let's see. Wait, for some reason he keeps getting young. I mean, What? So, what do you think? Oh my God, Mary, this is hilarious. Socrates.
Oh my
SoCat.
god.
I actually kind of like SoCat, guys. Like, I'm gonna be honest, that's actually kind of a good. What if Ginger Cat just calls himself Ginger Cat, but then one of the nicknames Hermes calls him is Socrates?
Yes,
Hermes nickname for him, Socrates. I think that'd actually be really funny.
that would.
Ginger Cat, I am neither a Socrates or a Socat. I am just a ginger.
Also, I know I'm like intently working on something over here. I'm actually gonna pull up my screen like a few minutes so people
Yeah,
can
you're good. I think we're almost at the end of this cat arc. Yoda's and an Ewok's baby. I know, right? We're totally getting Star Wars vibes. Let's see. Make the a cat. I mean, I don't know. So, what do you think?
Honestly, I think there's too much detail to the robe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously we're not gonna be able to change his stick.
Mm-hmm.
Well, staff, but I think for the most part, Ginger Cat does look okay, like in the face and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
especially for that first one.
Let's go less.
But it's just the robe
Let's
is just a bit much.
actually let's change the robe to a poncho. To a rustic poncho that a hermit would wear. Let's see if we can do something like that. Let's see what it gives us. All right, let's see. So if you want to pull up on your end what you're going to pull up.
Yeah, give me a moment. I am almost ready to do that. What I'm doing over here is I'm actually designing the corgi. And keep in mind, I am not the best artist, but this is kind of what I was thinking of. Find it.
I love that. I love that. I love the direction you're taking that in.
Yeah, without the wings, she actually has like this tiny little tail, but but like I need to put more detail like on her wings or something. But this is sort of what I'm thinking of as concept art for the corgi.
No, yeah, I think that's actually perfect.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is kind of the general style I draw in if I actually like go this route. So this is kind of what a cat might look like. That kind of scraggly, kind of iffy look.
All right.
Thank
So
you, Mass Toaster.
let's see. So let's see if I can get all of these cat pictures. You can keep it up on your end. I'll drop that. Let's see. Where are we at in the manuscript?
Yeah, I'll just.
I'm going to pull up each of the cat pictures that I've generated today, so we can get a sense. Let's see. We'll do that.
Select, deselect. I forgot I was.
Wow. Oh my God. These cats are coming to life, Soul. Oh my God. This is so crazy. I'll figure out a way to try to see if I can Photoshop some of these into a single picture.
Oh, wrong thing.
Let's see. All right, guys, you guys are, I think you guys are going to like what we have so far. This is crazy. So with your guys' help, I think we've now gotten almost all of the images for these cats. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the only one we haven't actually generated yet is a vegan cat, of which that's technically Act 3. So I'm not going to worry about vegan cat right now. Well, I'll do that at some point. But I think so far we technically have 8 of the cat images. All right. Are you guys ready? I'm like, are you guys ready for this? Soul, do you think they're ready?
I think they're ready.
I was like, are you ready? All 8 cats. 8 of our 9 cats. And let's bring these to the stage. All right, so.
Yeah.
So we technically have life number 1, life number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, and then the only one we're missing right now is technically our scientist cat, which we haven't generated. Now this is just Hermes, and then Tuxedo is 8.
And Tuxedo will have to get a better image for him too.
Yeah, I'm gonna I'll get a better one for Tuxedo. This is my placeholder for him right now.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll save the generation for our other 2 cats for next week, since we'll be doing Act 3 then. But yeah, I was like, I feel like we got some really, really great, like, cat. Each of these feel like distinct characters.
They do. They really do.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I think for now, what I'll do is I will, let's see, I'll screenshot this for now so I can
And
just
just for the heck of it, we should have a poll of who's of just of the designs, who everybody's favorite cat is, just based off the designs.
Let's do that after next week. So once we have Act 3, so then we'll
I'm
have.
not saying do it now. Just
I think that'll be a really, really great idea. Okay, awesome. So we got that. Let's now go, and I feel like we've mapped out all of Act 2 is mapped out. All right. I think what I need to do is I need to finish chapter 3 before I end off. But let's go to the community poll with our mastermind. So let's go see what we got for our the mastermind poll. Oh yeah, that's a very clear winner. Clearly, people very much want Greek mythology. Yeah, I guess I'm not. People are like Egyptian gods. They're like, screw them. Like nobody was fans of the Egyptians. Pagan
probably because we had Egyptians like in the first chapter, in this like second chapter. So
what was that?
Because I mean, we had the Egyptian cat, so that's probably why.
Pagan and Voodoo both got some interest, but I think Greek is just everyone's favorite. My guess is Greek is everyone's favorite because we've seen the most like notoriety from Greek characters and Greek mythology and just pop culture in general. I love Greek mythology, so I think that'd be really cool. And then I know
Super seem to be going with Greek. I actually think we should go with the Fates because that actually seems to kind of fit Hermes fighting against Destiny kind of thing.
I actually kind of I do like that idea. So what we're gonna do, guys, we're going to talk about it offline. We'll bring up some we'll help we'll figure out on developing the mastermind next week, since the mastermind's going to be integral to Act 3, and will be the big reveal. So totally cool. So I'm very happy with that. We got the plotting. We got some major story decisions. Let's see. I'm going to hop into the manuscript and get a little writing. Let's see. Let me get back into the manuscript. And let's see where we are at. So let's get to chapter 3. I was just writing the end. All right. So you guys can come like join along if you Let's see. Hermes has to figure out his plan to get out of the parrot's thing. So let's see. What do I have so far? All right, so I think this is what I have for the beginning or for the ending chapter of 3. Let's see. So do you want to read a parrot for me? I just want to make sure that this part makes sense.
So I was adding detail to the wing. Okay.
You're all good. Let's see. How much do I have? All right, we'll just do the ending of what I have. I need to finish off the rest of the section, but I need to make sure it makes sense. Hermes sat on the deck, his gaze down. How could this cat beat me? I've grown soft. He gritted his teeth, feeling the sting of it all. I was so close. That scarab should have been mine. The ship rocked as he fell onto his side. This produced another roar of laughter from the crew. Hermes reached for the nearby rail. He had been so distracted by Parrot and his pirate crew that he hadn't realized the black clouds in the distance. The waves of the sea were rising. Hermes looked around the deck. Parrot talked animatedly with the humans, his back to Hermes. The pouch containing the scarab taunted him. No, I'm not done yet, he thought, clenching his fists. He could still get it. He just needed another approach, a smarter one. He glanced up at the incoming storm. He'd better think of something fast. Hermes took a deep breath, forcing himself to shake off the sting of defeat. Think, Hermes, he told himself. There's got to be another way. His eyes narrowed, studying Parrot closely, the layout of the ship, the barrels, and the mast. As a plan began to form in his mind. Hey, Squawker, how about a real challenge? Parrot laughed. His crew surrounding him followed suit, along with a series of burps, belches, and shouts.
1 second.
Good.
Why waste my time with you any longer, furball? I held up my end of the bargain, and I grow tired of your antics.
Hermes hopped to his feet. The boat swayed, causing him to stumble forward and grab the railing. The storm in the distance grew closer, causing the waves to increase in volume.
What bargain?
I was like, we could do that. What bargain? Oh, no, that's right. That was Hermes. Why waste my time? I held up my end of the bargain. Okay, so let me rephrase that so that's not confusing. Let's see. I grow tired of your antics. I held up my end of the bargain. Hermes shouted. Or Hermes questioned. What bargain?
Wouldn't ye like to know?
Parrot spit as he held his mug to the side. One of his crew refilled the mug. Parrot brought it to his lips, purring at the sweet taste of spiced milk. Before Hermes could speak, the ship swayed again, but he was able to hold his ground this time. Parrot stood, unaffected by the waves. He moved with the ship, all while he drank from his mug.
You best be out with it, mate. Storm's a brewing, and I'm about to have you walk the plank.
Hermes grinned as he waited for the ship to rock once more, before leaping over the rail to land on the main deck. He now faced off squarely before Parrot and the entirety of his pirate crew surrounding him. He was met with laughter. You could have me walk the plank. Hermes glanced over the side of the ship as he gulped. This had better work. All he had done on the ship so far was play into Parrot's games, but it was time to play into his weaknesses. Or we fight once more, winner take all. Parrot stuck his tongue out, spitting, making noises, and ending off with a fart. The crew laughed.
I'm growing bored, furball. Can't believe the great Hermes has become this pathetic in his old age.
He chugged another mug of spiced milk and belched. The pirates laughed. Hermes eyed the pouch at Parrot's side. He also had to figure out what the one-eyed pirate knew. This had better work. This time, I challenge you and your entire crew to a duel. Last one standing takes all. The entire crew of pirates roared and doubled over in bouts of laughter. Hermes eyed them, sidestepping to the closest railing as he leaned nonchalantly against the nearby barrels.
The furball.
Parrot spit out a mouthful of spiced milk and rolled onto his back, laughing.
is a joker. He can't take on one pirate, let alone.
That would be true, except none of you are pirates. Silence. Boss, did he?
He
He
didn't.
didn't. That mangy furball, mocking pirates. Parrot hopped onto all fours, his grin replaced with a subtle scowl.
No one denounces a pirate on their own ship.
You're just a bunch of milk-drinking fanatics, from what I've seen. And where's all the gold? Pirates? Ha! More like a bunch of naval officers. Scowls, moans, angry shouts, swords drawn, pistols raised. And that's
Considering the time period, you're going to have to change the naval officers out because that's well before, well, after this time.
You're right. It's because I'm thinking pirates and I'm not thinking Viking.
Yeah.
More like a bunch of who would be the authority during the Viking era?
They don't really follow anything.
Well, I guess who were they fighting against?
Vikings kind of fight against everyone almost. The English, the Carolinian Empire, and the Anglo-Saxon kingdoms.
Actually, yeah, so more like a bunch of milk drinking Englishmen.
Apparently, their main enemy was the British West Saxons.
More like a bunch of milk drinking British. More like a bunch of milk drinking Brits.
Yes.
I like that. More like a bunch of milk drinking Brits. Pirate my ass. Pirate my ass. Let's see. Pirate my
tail.
Yep. So I'll do this before. I'll do like pirate my tail. More like a bunch of milk drinking Brits. Scowls, moans, angry shouts, swords drawn, pistols raised. Parrot chugged the rest of his mug and tossed it overboard and tossed it aside with a claw finger pointed at Hermes. He declared, "You're on." With a clawed finger pointed at Hermes, he declared, "You're on." Perfect. Thanks for the "you're on." You're like, that's perfect. You're on. Time to walk. You're on. You're on. Pirates or get him. I was like, kill him, get him.
No, that would work.
Yeah, get him. I was like, get him. You're on. It's time to declaw this furball. Get him. Or time to
declaw this furball.
Time to like sink. I was like, I know declaw doesn't work. Time to
declaw actually might work considering they're cats.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, there's the threat of death, but somehow I feel like declawing would be a lot worse of a threat because it's taking away your defense.
Time to declaw this furball, men. Get him. Okay, perfect. So now I think now I'm at a good place. All right, now that's awesome. You had already started on that section. All right, so let me think about how I'm going to do this. You're a much faster typer than I am usually, so let's see. All right. I'm like, um, let's see. I think I was trying to decide if I should have him rely on the catnip immediately. Hmm. Milk toast. I like that. Let's see. All right. So let's see. So we got. All right, so we're going to have him pull out his catnip. So let's see. So thanks for the offer, but I particularly like my claws. He reached in his pocket to fish out his only prized possession. Screams. He reached in his pocket as the screams of pirates descended upon him. He reached in his pocket to fish out his only prized possession. A a the single single piece, the single bit of the delicious smell of let's see, the delicious smell of paradise uh smashed or paradise. The delicious smell of paradise met the delicious smell of paradise permeated around him. He licked his lips as the piece of catnip um as the piece of catnip he licked his lips as I'll go Hermes licked his lips as he raised the only remaining catnip in front of his eyes. Here goes nothing. Here goes nothing. Here goes nothing. He muttered as he tossed the catnip into the air and gulped it as he tossed the catnip into the air. As he tossed the catnip high into the air, he flipped. He flipped forward, eating it. He flipped forward, eating. He flipped forward, eating it midair, and landing proudly before the descending before the descending pirate crew. And by the way, Mary had a really good thing. Sick him. I actually like the sick him. Pirate my tail, more like Scowls moans. You're on. Time to declaw this furball, men. Sick him. I like that. Sick him. And Parrot chugged the rest of his tankard. Does tankard is that the same as mug? Would tankard work as mug? I think you're muted.
Sorry. No, tankard and mug are the same thing.
Yeah, okay. He flipped forward, eating at midair and landing proudly before the descending pirate crew. With his let's see, catnip. So he's probably in a state of euphoria. His senses exploded. His senses exploded. He dashed at the closest pirate, striking them down in one swipe. Let's see, he dashed, striking them down in one swipe. The smell of ale, or the smell of pirate must smashed against his senses. He leapt atop three pirates as the feeling of each hat. He leapt atop three pirates as, let's see, we'll go Hermes. Hermes leapt atop three pirates as he danced. His way across them, kicking each to the ground in a single rhythmic motion. He grabbed the faces of two incoming pirates, smashing them together, smashing their heads together. The sounds of teeth cracking, or let's see, teeth cracking and low moans. Let's see. I don't want to use danced again. The teeth cracking and low moans. Echoed. That's good. Teeth cracking and low moans echoed in his ears. That's good. Let's see. He landed in a circle. It's a paragraph. Hermes landed in a circle, surrounded by pirates. He simply stood and beckoned them forward with a single paw. They charged. He ducked, and the smashing of bodies was, and the smashing of they charged, he ducked, and a single, and they charged, he ducked, and thuds. They charged, he ducked, and they thudded against one another. Let's see. And let's see. He slid underneath the legs of two pirates, clawing at their inner thighs, high pitched wailing as they went down like the babies that they were. Hermes laughed. Hermes laughed. The air smelled like the air smelled disgusting. The feeling or their blood splattered everywhere. The let's see, smell. I did smell blood. The feel of claws on flesh sharpened the feel of claws on flesh felt like a knife. Flesh, the feel of claws on flesh felt easy.
I just got to say this real quick. I actually have to go because I'm feeling kind of sick and this description is not helping.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry to hear that.
No, it's fine. It's just, so I'm glad I could help with tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And anything else, just please let me know. If anyone has any questions for me, just hit me up on Discord.
All right, awesome. Soul, thanks for helping us today.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, I'll talk to you later, friend. Let's see. Hermes landed in a circle, surrounded. He dashed at the closest pirate. Where was I at? So essentially what we're trying to do is we're trying to make that the catnip has essentially like extended his senses, right? So at the screams of pirates, his senses explode. He dashed at the closest pirate, striking them down in one swipe. The spell of pirate must smashed against his senses. Hermes leapt atop three pirates as he danced his way across them, kicking each to the ground in a single rhythmic motion. He grabbed the faces of two incoming pirates, smashing their heads together. Teeth cracking and low moans echoed in his ears. Hermes landed in a circle, surrounded by pirates. He simply stood and beckoned them forward with a single paw. They charged, he ducked, and they thudded against one another. He slid underneath the legs of two pirates, clawing at their inner thighs. High-pitched wailing as they went down like the babies that they were. Hermes laughed. The air smelled disgusting. Their blood splattered everywhere. Hermes laughed. The air smelled disgusting. Let's see. I don't like that. Like Hermes laughed. The feeling. Hermes laughed. The feeling of adventure. An old feeling of adventure overtook him as he swept through scores of pirates, taking them down claw by claw. Hats, Viking hats flew in all directions as Hermes rolled past barrels of rolled past barrels of an explosive, rolled past barrels of rolled as he rolled past barrels. He clawed each open as they poured out pitch, as they poured pitch out onto the deck. With a final roll, he landed just before Parrot. He landed just before Parrot. Over half of the pirate crew lay moaning on the deck from bruises and aches. But bunch of land. Bunch of land. Dwellers, call yourself pirates. Don't make me laugh. Parrot. Let's see. Yeah, the rank odor of blood was everywhere. Rank odor of blood was everywhere. I like that, Mary. That's a good one. Let's see. Bunch of weak land dwellers. You call yourself pirates? Don't make me laugh. Parrot dives forward at Hermes. Hermes, with Parrot dives forward at Hermes. Sword pointed for his face. Hermes dives. This should be Hermes rolls. Hermes rolls aside, reaching for the pouch as it swings just out of reach. Grabbing for the pouch. Grabbing for the pouch as it swings just out of reach. Parrot lands, laughing, and doubles back to tackle Hermes to the ground. And doubles back to tackle Hermes to the ground. Hermes lands with a thud. Hermes lands with a thud. As Parrot brings the sword down to strike him dead. But Hermes manages to roll over as the two cats roll back and forth, wrestling for control. Hermes kicks the sword away as Parrot resorts to his claws. The cat fight commences. The cat fight ensues as they roll back and forth. All right. Finally, the ship sways uncontrollably as it begins raining. Thunder sounds off in the sky, distracting Hermes as Parrot pins him to the deck. Let's see. You'll never beat a pirate. You'll never You'll never beat a parrot in don't you'll never beat a pirate in you'll never beat a true pirate in a duel. Who said anything about beating you in a duel? Hermes. Hermes retorted as he struck, as he swiped. Let's see, as he swiped his claw, as he swiped one claw against the wooden floorboards, where, let's see, what was that stuff called? Where, let's see, that was pitch, where as he swiped his claw against the wooden floorboards, or as he swiped his claw against pitch against the wooden floorboards, where the pitch from the wooden barrels had leaked onto. He laughed as he watched as it caught, as the sparks caught and caused an explosion, sending both of them tumbling away. One explosion after another, and the ship caught on fire. Let's see. Ship on fire, screamed a pirate. Overboard. Abandon ship. The ship, well, the ship had clearly been the ship was on flames. Let's see, the ship had gone from, let's see, one explosion, and the ship caught on fire. The flames spread quickly as the duel quickly ensued into to chaos. Well, the ship burned down. The storm above reigned, battling against the flames. Hissing, I like that, Mary. Hissing and spitting. And then we'll go ship on fire. The ship had gone from Hermes leapt. Hermes dove towards Parrot, swiping, grabbing the bag, grabbing the pouch and tearing it from his waist. Parrot attempted to swipe. A parrot attempted to grab Hermes, but the shock had given Hermes the advantage as he pinned Parrot forcefully to the ground. Hey, what's up, Brenda? Yeah, so we've been working on developing the story for a few hours now. What I would recommend, if you want to catch up on the story, I would actually go to the Google Docs and catch up on all the story notes. And then you're more than welcome. You could totally suggest ideas. Right now, our Hermes the cat is facing off against our pirate cat, the parrot. So yeah, I would definitely. It's down in the YouTube description down below if you want to be involved. Let's see, but the shot could given Hermes the advantage as he pinned Parrot forcefully to the ground. Let's see. Parrot. Hermes tore the pouch open as a rock fell out. Parrot laughed. You think I'd be foolish enough to keep that scarab on me? That you'll never get me treasure alive. Hermes punched him. I just want to get home. What is with you cats? Oh, that's good. That's good, Megan. Hermes punched him square in the face. Hermes tore the patch open. Hermes punched him square in the face. I'm going home. I'm going home, Squawker. Why won't you leave me alone? Parrot laughed. Parrot's grin returned as he watched his ship burning down. You aren't such an old cat after all. I never should have struck that bargain with Tuxedo. I never should have struck that bargain. What bargain? Hermes grabbed his chest, raising his head and chest, raising him up. But this parrot can speak complete sentences. Hey, does the parrot swear at all? So the cat's name, so Megan, so you know, the cat's name is Parrot. That's the nickname that we went with. The cat's name is Parrot. Yeah, the parrot's is the cat nickname. I know, it's actually really ironic that the cat's nickname is Parrot. Hermes grabbed his chest. You aren't such an old cat after all. I never should have struck that bargain. What bargain? Hermes grabbed his chest, raising him up. Well, you beat me fair and square. You beat me fair and square. I cheated. Hermes retorted. Exactly the way a pirate. Exactly the way of a true pirate. Hermes dropped. Hermes let go of Parrot's chest and rolled over onto his back, catching his breath. The ship burned around them as uh, the mast came crashing down. The pirate crew was scrambling um, to salvage what was left of their boat as the rain beat down upon the chaos. Hermes caught his breath as the euphoria from the catnip drained from him, as the feelings of euphoria from the catnip left him. How long? How long? I'll do this. Italics. How long had it been since? How long had it been since he had fought like that? He was reminded. He was reminded of. He was reminded of past times, past adventures, and past lives. The as he thought back to his past, he realized that he only knew what had been in the barrels because he had lived it. He rolled his head to look at Parrot. Don't tell me don't tell me I used to be as don't tell me I used to be you. Parrot, don't tell me I used to be you, Squawker. Parrot laughed. Parrot laughed as he reached for a nearby as he reached for the closest barrel and lapped up the spiced milk that drained from it. Regaining his evidently regaining his strength, he turned and nodded. Me and all seven of the seven of your ghosts. Me and all seven of your ghosts agreed to haunt you. Hermes wanted to cry. All seven of you? Like, there's seven of you? Actually eight. Oh no. Let's see. Actually, 8. Let's see. Actually, 8. Uh, actually, 8. Uh, I Hermes grabbed his head, and screamed at the sky. I should have stayed on the beach. Yeah, that's Megan. That's exactly what it was. Hermes wanted to cry. There's 7 of you, actually 8. So let me make sure that I said that. Don't tell me I used to be you, Squawker. Parrot laughed as he reached for the closest barrel and lapped at the spiced milk that drained from it. Evidently regaining a strength that he turned and nodded. Me and all 7 of your ghosts agreed to haunt you. There's 7 of you. Hermes grabbed his head and screamed at the sky. I should have stayed on the beach. Now, I don't actually think I need a reference tuxedo right now because I think that the ghost thing is actually enough. I think it's kind of, I think you can kind of pick up the pieces that tuxedo is the deal maker, but we're not going to come back to tuxedo till the midpoint. So I think this ghost realization is important. Hermes grabbed his head and screamed at the sky. I should have stayed on the beach. Um, let's see. Hermes wanted to cry. There's 7 of you, actually 8. Hermes grabbed his head and screamed at the sky. Um, I feel like I can probably do some. I feel like I can have like a more clever line here. Actually, 8. Um, and I think I'm going to put this quote before the action. I should have stayed. I should have stayed on the beach. Actually, 8. Hermes grabbed his eye. Hermes grabbed his right eye, feeling the faintest trace of an old scar. I like that, Mary. Memory triggered in pain by an old scar. Hermes grabbed his right eye, feeling the faintest trace of an old scar. As he I should have stayed on the beach. Hermes grabbed his right eye, feeling the faintest trace of an old scar as he looked, as he gazed upon Parrot. Um, the Viking pirate cat lifted up his eye patch. Oh, I was like, did he? I was like, I don't think he had an eye patch. I think it was just clear that he had a scar. The Viking pirate cat pointed at his cat pointed at his scarred right eye and winked with his left. Uh, I'd say you'll never outrun us, but I'd say you'll never outrun us. Uh, but but let's see, but I'd say you'll never outrun us, but let me think. Mm, but I have a crew to attend to. A bunch of bunch of losers that they are. Hermes Hermes tried to reconcile the fact that Hermes tried to reconcile the fact that even if he somehow returned home, he would never be left alone by his past selves. Bits and pieces of former lives floated, bits and pieces of former lives came to him. Laughter, hatred, joy, rage, pain, fear, happiness, resentment. Mm. Let's see. Time to walk the plank, mate. Parrot squawked. Hermes spun around as Parrot kicked him squarely in the chest. Hermes stumbled back as the force of the momentum sent him tumbling over the side of the ship. Hermes splashed into Hermes plummeted into the water as Hermes plummeted into the water as he was consumed. He flailed wildly. He splashed. He flailed wildly, splashing about as he bobbed back to the surface. As he bobbed to the surface. When he, as he sputtered out water, Hermes plummeted in the water as he was consumed. All sense of direction lost as he spun around, losing his bearings. He flailed wildly, splashing about until he bobbed to the surface. He felt boom. Let's see. He heard. I'll go boom. A loud, a sound crackled in the air. Hermes sputtered out water as he. Let's see. Hermes sputtered out water, Hermes spit out water as he opened his eyes. The pirate ship was gone. He swam. He splashed about in the middle of the ocean. There was he splashed about in the middle of the ocean as rain beat at him and the waves increased in velocity. Hermes swam for a nearby piece of plywood, which must have came loose from the ship. Using the plywood to momentarily catch his breath, despite the unideal situation. Screaming at the sky, he shouted, screaming at the sky, I hate, let's see, what should it say? I hate cats. A wave of water splashed against him, or crashed against him, making make him feel like he was about to drown. Luckily, he gripped the plywood as he rose back to the surface. This situation was dire. Hermes tried to catch his breath between waves, realizing waves. This may be the end. He thought back to the cozy bed and back in the Blood Elf Palace, and cursed that black and white tuxedo cat. Why didn't he recognize that mangy mutt? Hermes groaned. Hermes groaned. Off in the distance, Hermes groaned as another wave came upon him. Unknowingly, off in the distance, the silhouette of off in the distance, the silhouette of a flying a four-legged animal with wings. Off in the distance, the silhouette of a four-legged animal with wings pierced the clouds. Off in the distance, unbeknownst to Hermes, off in the distance, the silhouette of a four-legged animal with wings pierced the clouds. All right, and I think that brings us to the end of chapter 3. Woo! I was like, I'm glad I got that. Okay, so that is technically, so that's actually, I'm glad I was actually able to, I really wanted to finish chapter 3. That was like the thing that I knew I had to do. All right, so now we're going to get chapter 3, and then this is actually, we got to get act 2. And I think we actually came up with a name for it. Let's see, let me go check. I think we came up with a name for act 2. Last Life, what was it? The 9 Lives Tour. Excellent. manuscript, Act 2, the 9 Lives Tour. Perfect. So I think that's good. I was able to get Act 2, and that brings us now into Chapter 4. Wonderful, wonderful. All right. So I knew that I had to do that. I knew that we had to I wanted to really at least wrap up Chapter 3. Yeah, it's in Chapter 4. Lucky. I think that'd be heading 2. No, actually, that'd be heading 1. Awesome. So I feel great about that. While we weren't able to make too much progress in writing Act 2, I think we plotted out and we started on it. So we'll see how much progress we're able to make this week with the community, and we'll see. So we got really good. I think we've planned out all of the character plot arcs and the major moments that we need to go about. Let's see. And clearly we have developed. We got our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got 6, and technically we have 8 here. So we got our 6 cats. Clearly very fun. Now that we've dealt with the Egyptian viper and parrot. So we've had a lot of fun with our cats. Definitely made sure to make some progress. Let's see. And then now we've also plotted out chapters 4 through 7. So we'll see what we can, we'll see what progress we can make this coming week. Yeah. Come on, you can do 3 more hours to prepare yourself for the upcoming all-day event. You're like, ML. I know, right? For the WriteNow-a-thon at the end of December. Yeah, I mean, if I totally didn't have other priorities, I would be able to. So it's actually not a lack of endurance, it's just a lack of time. If only, my friend. But I feel like we've made some really good progress, and you guys gave some excellent and incredible ideas. So thank you all for your suggestions. I was like, we're on a roll that time. And yeah, if you want to be involved, once again, hop into the Google Docs, come join us on writing the story, helping us bring these cats to life. Let's see, I'll make sure to throw these in the concept art, but definitely come join us and we'll see what shakes loose for this next story bit. Next weekend, we'll be creating and hopefully getting to writing on Act 3, depending how the writing turns out this week. So definitely really great work, my friends. We made some really great progress. Our story's definitely coming along. Now, let me just go into the manuscript and let's see what our word count is. So let's see, we've got to pull this down. Let's see what we've done so far. Word count, we've done 12,000. So this is just the manuscript so far. So we've gotten about 12,000. Let's pull up our NaNoWrimo. Let's see. So update. So last time we had 6,000. So now we're at, what's that? Well, we'll just put 13 for now. So roughly 13 out of our 50,000 word goal. So we're seeing what's actually possible. So we got that today and we made excellent progress. And yeah, thanks all for joining. You guys gave some great recommendations. As we'll be back next weekend for day 4 of the adventure right now. We'll finish off the story and see what craziness we can get into. And this has been awesome. As we look towards creative writing on the morrow, I'll be back for a casual writing stream tomorrow, focusing back on Scarecrow. So come join us. We got a lot done today, and that is what I got for you. But unfortunately, this brings us to the end of the stream. Don't forget, words are wind, but stories are forever. I'm Kaufman, and I'll catch you on the morrow. Stay creative, writers.